girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Okay. Hey, everybody. All right. Happy Wednesday. Oh, my God. It's so much, right? Girl, listen. I literally, as I'm coming up here, the thought that I'm having in my mind is I'm going to have to explain to these people the type of black I am. I feel like, oh no, we're going to have a conversation about the type of black I am and why I'm the type of black that I am. Okay. The specific type of black that I am. We're going to have a conversation about that. Right. Because to me, my whole existence throws off all of those little bullshit things y'all throw out to everybody that says that if you are a certain type of woman, then your life is going to look like this. That if you do this, then you're not going to be, yeah, girl. Like my whole life is like a straight fuck you to all of that shit. Okay. And at the end of the day, my biggest flex is that I get up when I want to and I do what I want to. That is my biggest flex at this point in life. Okay. And that is because I have always been on the lookout, on the lurk for liberation. Okay, I took what Son said in that song very serious. I want to be free. Say it, brother. One day, child, I won't have to listen to your lies. Because y'all be lying, right? And on that day, I'll be able to make up my own mind. Because I should be able to choose for myself. You know, I think I done finally realized yes, I have. And now I think I can put you out of my mind. I want to be free. Yes, I am. Oh, Lord. I want to be free, child. Shoo. I aspire for freedom, right? I don't, aspire to uphold or perpetuate harmful rhetoric that doesn't really help anybody because I'm able to think about things practically. And if they actually make sense when you say the reason why you do something, and if that actually makes sense, a lot of times it doesn't make sense because it's some type of ignorant bias or prejudice that you're holding that you just don't want to unpack. And that's cool, right? It's cool. But what's aggravating is the way you project that out onto everybody else like fucking vomit, right? Because everybody else has to be like responsible for how you choose to show up, the way you refuse to evolve, the way you refuse to understand what the fuck is actually going on. And then you projectile vomit bullshit all over the internet and onto people from a space as if you know what you're talking about. Oh, girl. All right. Make sure my titties don't come out. Okay. I'm going to start the show now. Thank y'all for being here. Support the channel, right? Because I do have merch. I have a coloring book. I have a puzzle. And I have merch that says the community is not okay because every day I get up here and do sociological research on how the community is in fact not okay. Because when given the opportunity to have an opinion about things that if you had understood history and where we've been and how we got here, then we wouldn't still be arguing about certain things. And I think it's triggering for people that are extremely woke like myself. We're going to stop saying that in a negative aspect. When I say extremely woke, I mean like I've read the books and I understand where all this shit comes from. That's why I think it's all stupid. And I've always felt that way. And so that's why I investigated certain things, because for me, it just never made fucking sense because two things are existing at the same time. Y'all will feel like people are terrible for certain things. I'll actually know those people. Actually, no, they're not terrible for those things. That's a stereotype. Yo. But let's get into the show because I want to start off with unpopular opinions, everybody. That's what we're going to start off with. I saw this and I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. We got to go through this slide, girl. Let's go through the slide. Yes. So, something different, DC. Okay. I'm guessing it's like, a podcast type of situation. But they had some topics on a big ass monitor of unpopular opinions in their Atlanta show. All right. And this is some of the stuff that popped up on screen. So I want us to discuss it. And I just, as soon as I saw this one, I was like, let me stop. Hold on. Okay. Tyler Perry is anti-Black. Yes, in a plethora of ways. Primarily perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Primarily that. Also, I feel like anybody with any ounce of sentience can tell that nigga's sadistic. And his movies and shows and plays and shit tend to have a sadistic tone. And it was always like underlying at the beginning, right? But as time went on and the shows started to cuss, right? Because now we're getting outside of church people realm and we're just in secular world, right? So now we can actually say all the cuss words we ever wanted to say. Now we can be just as, depraved and degenerate as our spirit always wanted to be. And I feel like Tyler Perry gets to act that out through the television shows and the movies and everything that he writes, and even in the dialogue and how the language is abusive. Like, it just perpetuates some of the lowest vibrations of Black people. It does. And I recognize this as something he's doing against those people. Like, it's convoluted and it's nuanced. And I'm not saying, well, y'all know I have my feelings about Tyler Perry for, again, a plethora of reasons. But this specific thing about Black people, this is not really our fault. Like, even Tyler Perry, the way he's promoting anti-Blackness is not even really his fault, because what he is showing a lot of the times is real. And it is a reflection of a certain group of Black people that men like him grow to really hate. They grow to really hate. And I really understand it, because what you come to find out is, as you are growing up as a young kid in New Orleans, everybody is extremely cruel and violent with their language a lot of the time. So they're talking to you as a child like you're a grown-ass nigga on the street, right? A lot of it is homophobic, so make sure you're not a punk. And if they see just a little bit of twist in there somewhere, okay, now we got something to say every time you walk into a room. So we're like emotionally and mentally beating you down throughout your entire childhood. Then you were assaulted. We protect abusers and adults that abuse children in every community in this country. So there's no real justice. There's no real resolve. So now you carry the resentment of these ignorant ass people beating down on you when it comes to morality, but turning around and doing some of the most immoral shit that anybody can do. To me, I understand this, right? Because I come from the same place. Like, I literally understand the gutterness that Tyler Perry, had the place inside of him somewhere that's in this gutterness, okay? My problem is when he allows all of that, like, churchy elitism shit. Like, I can't stand that bullshit, okay? But I feel like he's getting out his angst against the people, the very people that he grew up around, which are a lot of times these, poor, homophobic, ignorant ass Black people. No disrespect, ignorant ass Black people. Y'all sometimes create great things. We have a great time together. But when it gets, y'all have to say something ignorant. Like, y'all have to say something homophobic. Y'all have to say something misogynistic. You can't help yourselves. Like, that's why you can't be around every group of Black people, right? You can't be around every group of Black people. And, I think Tyler Perry will perpetuate that and make that funny. Also make abusive situations lighter than they should actually be. It also does the same thing that romantic comedies that white people create do. I think it grooms women to tolerate abuse. It grooms women to tolerate abuse for sake of virtue. And I think that that's harmful, dangerous, and dumb at this point. Because, again, practical thinker. When you put this shit in practice, no, nigga, you beat me upside my head and then slut shaming me doesn't feel practical to me. It doesn't at all. All right. Tyler Perry's Anti-Black. That was one. Moving on. Normalize telling your friends that they're getting big. Hell to the nah. Hell to the nah. No, okay? And this will go back to policing Black people's bodies and y'all not understanding the lengths at which bodies are being policed and how we need to not lean into that concept. Like, this policing people's bodies needs to be something we're gradually unlearning, not something we're holding on to for dear life because it makes our lives better. It doesn't. It doesn't make your life better. It doesn't. Okay? Telling your friends they're getting big, no. We're not going to do that. Because what that does, that's an absence of empathy. Why are we friends if you don't care about how I feel? And another thing is, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me getting a little big? What's wrong with me getting a little big? This bothered me because, girl, yesterday, I'm going out into the nature to take a walk around my neighborhood, right? And the one feeling that I, always have when I'm walking around in my neighborhood is a dog gonna come out of a gate? Is a nigga gonna try to talk to me that's outside his house or just outside? Right? I don't want to talk. Like, I'm literally walking, taking a break from all the fucking talking I've been doing up here. Right? I'm trying to free my mind and my ass is following, right? I worked out. I took a walk. Get to the end of the block. See one of my neighbors. Hey, neighbor, I'm a community person. I speak. If you don't speak to me, I don't speak to you. But just in general, if you pass me and we make contact, I speak. Okay? That's just how I was raised. But what's annoying to me is how often people, I feel like, will not speak back when they know they heard you speak. And so that's why I've pulled back on doing that, because bitch, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? In my life, in my mind. But again, neighbor, walking down the street, getting my steps in. Oh, hey, how you doing? I didn't even recognize you. You gained a little weight. I didn't recognize you because you gained a little weight. Okay, have a good day. All right, is that right? Okay, all right. Well, you have a good one. Hold up. Let's, cause for me, you know what I'm saying? For me. Like, for me. Now, to me, I'm fine as a motherfucker. Okay? Based on the metric of beauty that I grew up with, which was pretty face, head full of hair, good skin, TNA. What more could you want from me? What more could you want from me? But so no, don't make comments on people's weight. We would love for y'all to stop doing that. We would love for y'all to leave people the fuck alone and not have to make them aware of what they look like. It's something that I feel like, slow people do, and people that are trying to like hurt your feelings. So, slow mean hoes say shit like that. So you either slow or you're a mean hoe or you're both. Now, I saw a comment. Let's be clear. Bondy, are you still hurt about that person asking if you were pregnant on live? Actually, no, because people say things about me all the time, and after I address it, it's gone. and I usually don't really recall it unless something else comes up that reminds me of it. Like this comment. No, my feelings aren't necessarily hurt by these things. It's just me recognizing and acknowledging that people are trying to play in my face and think I won't curse them the fuck out. Like, again, I don't do respectability politics. If I think you're coming at me sideways, I'm probably going to respond because I'm human. But no, thank you. Thank you for inquiring. No, my feelings aren't usually hurt to like the tearful area about things like that. It's just more so, why are you hoes hating on me so desperately? I appreciate you pussy watching me though. You know, then I wonder, people that ask questions like that, are you, you know, like, why are you interested? Because to me, when they ask questions like that, it's meant to make me feel bad. It's meant to shame me about the fact that I don't have children, as if having children is so fucking great based on the way y'all abuse them, don't really care about them, and use them as accessories in your little weird ass fairy tale stories and shit like that. I be so like, okay, so why do you need to make me feel bad about not having kids? I feel great about it. Do we hear? Listen. Silence. No, girl. I don't need to feel bad about not having any kids. But thank you though. Thank you for letting me know that I've said something that hit dog hollered you. And now we have to try to make me feel bad about something that I don't feel bad about. But of course, people commenting on my body is always like a feeling of like feeling somebody trying to throw energy at you. That's how things feel to me. Things will feel like somebody threw energetic daggers at me with certain comments. And that is what I'm feeling. And I honestly feel like in those situations, that's what's intended. It's intended to throw an emotional dagger my way. And when I tell people to suck my dick, it's me throwing it right back. Candy Doll, thank you for the super chat. Yes, that's so terrible when people comment on your weight gain, not knowing if you have health or mental issues. Just hush. Family members too. Yes. And maybe just the fact that I shedded a lot of weight because I was working out a lot, like doing challenges consistently, which was working out 6 days a week, which long term was not like reasonable for me. Like I could not keep up working out 6 days a week. And then also I lift more weights now. So a lot of what people are seeing is not body fat. Like I'm toned as fuck. And I'm also just naturally a thick person. I'm naturally a thick person. I'm a grown, almost 40-year-old woman. I have body fat like a normal, healthy person. Everybody's always asking me about my skin. And it's my skin routine. And it's also because I eat food. Yeah, I eat. I eat food. I eat whatever I want to eat in moderation. I drink my water. I drink my juices. I get my veggies in. Okay. I don't have a gallbladder. I can't go ham on my body like that because then I'll be sick. Yeah. Because sometimes, you know, you have all types of physical issues because you've been traumatized several times over and over again, and you're still hyper performing. Yeah. We'll get into that later. But yeah, girl, I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why people be like that. I don't know why people be like that. I think that, you know, when you see people that really like themselves, you know, it triggers some people, so they want you to not like yourself as much. I promise. It doesn't matter how much y'all stress me out on the internet. I will never think I'm the problem. I will never think I'm the problem. Girl. It'll never just be me. Okay? Most of the time, without fail, it will be y'all. Not y'all, but y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just came up here and gave my opinion, bitch. I didn't knock on your door. I didn't at you. Okay? As a physician, we are trained to address weight directly. I never feel comfortable with that. Yeah, because you know it's based on some type of like bias. You know it's based on some type of bias. Because it is. Okay? And we're going to get into some Myra in a minute. The black church is keeping us poor. I don't know if they keeping us poor, but they damn sure keeping us down. Is that when you back up why a lot of people have like the ignorant mindsets that they have about things, or the mindsets that they formed, a lot of it will go back to church. It will. Something somebody said in church, girl. That's another group of people that, you throw out all of this shame onto people, and then we all know that people be doing, they be doing what they doing, like for instance, when I was at prep, they were hyper focused on us as Black girls and our, sexual maturation, which within itself is kind of fucking creepy that all of these adults were so hyper focused on if the girls at an all girls school were gay, right? But then on top of that, it's us knowing that some of the teachers who are married are fucking each other. Like, it's us knowing that they in their personal lives are being extremely hypocritical and fucked up. But somehow we have to, receive all of this moral judgment from people that are doing shit that's on the 10 Commandments. That always blew me. It's like, God gave us 10 rules, and ain't in none of them rules was no gay shit. It didn't say nowhere in there that you couldn't be gay. He gave us 10 commandments, and all of them rules, when you think about it, they make sense. There's a reason for those rules. I need rules to make sense. I need rules to protect people against some type of harm. I don't like just obligatory rules and shit just to have people in line. Yeah, no, I don't like that shit. That shit dumb. The fuck? Stop using if in an apology. Yes, because those are apologies you don't really mean. If I. Bitch, the first step is acknowledgement. If you can't acknowledge it, then don't apologize for it. It's time we rethink sending our kids to HBCUs. Absolutely. Absolutely. After these conversations we've been having about Tuskegee, I would rather be around some white people. I would rather be around, not all. That's why I say some. Because I never want to be anywhere where it's like all white people. Please don't misunderstand me. No. But the type of Black that I am, I have always preferred a mixed crowd, because a lot of the times I am safer in mixed crowds than 100% around a whole bunch of niggas or 100% around a whole bunch of white people. Mixed crowds feel safer for me. Okay? I'ma just keep it a book. And I'm starting to realize why. It is because Black people will hold on to internalized biases about us so deeply and then bully each other about it. And white people don't hold these same biases because they just don't grow up being policed in the same manner. So they don't internalize those things. So when you're around them, if they're not super duper racist, a lot of the times it's easier to be around them than it is to be around other Black people. A great example of this is how when Black women get married to white men and then they stop giving a fuck about their hair, and when they dating Black men, then the hair is always slicked and perfect and all of that. And that is because Black people are requiring perfection of one another in a way that is kind of unnatural to everybody else. I would love for us to sit with that. But I know a lot of you niggas won't. Okay? Yes, we need to rethink sending our kids to HBCUs. Because the whole point was to create an environment that was nurturing to Black students. But now there are Black people on the internet calling it babying them. As if 18, 19, 20-year-olds don't need a buffer in between their parents' household and the real world. College is a fucking buffer. And when I was going to HBCU, which was very much made, obvious to me, is this is supposed to be a space where my Blackness is not always being policed or questioned. That's what that was supposed to feel like, because that is what you get, what we expected to get at PWIs. I'm not saying all HBCUs, but when I tell you I would not be sending my child to Howard or Tuskegee, we're going to get into it. It's okay to be attracted to your friend's man. It's harmless. I mean, I don't think you can actually help attraction. I think acting on things and flirting with people and being inappropriate, I think that is the problem. I think a lot of people don't know how to separate what's going on in here versus what you're performing, showing, doing on the outside. They understand it when they're lying about something. But at the end of the day, like, you should be able to see somebody, think in your mind, oh, that person's attractive. But then right behind that, morals, that's my fucking friend. I'm glad my friend got a fine nigga. Good for them. That's it. But y'all don't like to be like that. When y'all say y'all, for me, this comment, it's harmless. It's okay to be attracted. Girl, you're not just attracted to the man. You want to see if you can get him to want to fuck you. That's what this sound like. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that sound like. A woman that says shit like that, you make me feel like in your mind, you're creating the scenario in which he just falls into your pussy and it's not my fault. He chose me. Okay. Rap is the most detrimental thing to happen in the Black community. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You know why? Because rap started off as something that was self-expression because of the economic racism that people were dealing with, the environmental racism that people were dealing with, right? One of the first rap songs, broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the stairs, they just don't care. The reason why that was happening is because of racism. Systemic, not a personal thing. And so the music started to, was reflecting something. But music in the early 90s was like very, very positive. Like some of the shit that y'all know people who there are two songs by the Arrested Development that I play all the time, no matter what. And that's Tennessee and Mr. Wendell. Mr. Wendell is one of, I love that song. I don't know if y'all have ever listened to the lyrics of Mr. Wendell, but Mr. Wendell is basically about how we disrespect older people sometimes because of the way their life look. It's like, I'm not about to believe you. I'm not about to trust you about anything. And then we get older and realize that those older people were right about some things and that we should have listened to their perspective because they had been here for a long time. But we're young and we're emotional, so we can't always do both of those things at the same time, because a lot of times all will matter is our feelings. You can't really sit with the discomfort and think it through because you're still young and your brain isn't fully formed. Okay. But to me, racism was the reason, the catalyst, not the reason, but the catalyst. And then after that, they infiltrated it in order to, adulterate it like they do with everything. Girl, every institution that Black people create for themselves, a lot of the times for good reason, white people will find a way to infiltrate and hollow it out. So if it was supposed to do something good, they're going to go in there and make sure they're making it hard for whatever you intended to do. We're going to make sure that doesn't really happen. So for instance, a lot of rap started because people wanted to get out of poverty, right? First it was self-expression, and then it became a way to make music, make money, and get out of poverty, right? Again, poverty is already happening because of the racism. They make the music. Then they start to make a little change from this, so they start to get a lot of acclaim. Do you know what happens? We make sure we put them in predatory contracts so that they end up being indentured servitudes, because our country is built off slavery. And so in every aspect of life, we try to find a way to enslave things and people. That's just the system. That's how the system works. That's what the mindset is of people. And how the system works is by giving people prejudices and biases that they think make sense, but really don't. And so that they can self-police themselves into making sure these systems continue. Okay? Yes, it is absolutely exploitation. All right? So rap is not the most detrimental thing to happen to the Black community. Racism is the most detrimental thing to happen to the Black community. Thank you. Ebooks are not a scam. Your expectations are. Feel like sometimes yes. Sometimes no. Sometimes you are scamming people, right? B Simone. And sometimes people think you about to give them some get rich quick scheme or automatically give them self-confidence. And all of those things take work within yourself that really other people can't always help you with. There's a saying, I could lead a horse to the water, but I can't make him drink it. And what that actually means is I can give a person all of the information, but if they don't take it in, if they don't use it, if they don't really, allow it to sink into their mindset, then it's pointless. I don't know who said ebook. I feel like they mean ebooks because you always find a lot of content creators that's like, get my ebook. Because they about to tell you how to be a millionaire overnight. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be the aspect of it. But I also think about the aspect of ebooks being the quickest and easiest way for people to get books. And people are writing books. So get my ebook, bitch. The fuck? It's an electronic book. You got a Kindle. You got a phone. It's a way to read the book on the internet. Okay? But I'm going to tell y'all right now, and this is another thing, like, I don't want to always be buying shit because I am intentionally planning to leave, right? So I don't want to keep buying shit that I feel like I'm going to just have to be putting in storage. But when I tell y'all, I feel the need to buy the hard copies of books because y'all don't realize what these niggas is out there doing. AI is downloading books and then they're destroying the fucking books, and you should not ever be destroying source material. That's stupid. You destroying source material tells me that you want to create the standard. It reminds me of how when people decide to colonize, they go in and destroy all of the remnants of the people that were there before and then say that they started some shit. Kind of how Christianity happened. They went around pillaging and destroying other people's, mosques and temples and destroying all of their religious books, their history books. They went and burned and destroyed. They would go in people's, townships and tribes, villages, whatever, kill everybody and then destroy and burn everything. So there's no history of what happened and they can decide because the victors always decide what history says. Remember that. Okay. Child, DVDs, CDs, Masterpiece, all these angels. I want my hard copies now. Now that I realize we can't trust y'all not to fuck with it. The dating scene isn't screwed up. You are. The dating scene is made up of a bunch of individuals. A bunch of individuals are fucked up. The dating scene is fucked up. Like 1 + 1 = 2. Androids are the black people of cell phones. Yes, y'all hate on us, but we work the hardest and we do the shit first. Yeah, Androids are better phones. They do all of the shit first. I could tell you I have 2 phones. I have an Apple. I think I have an iPhone. What is that? 15 Pro Max, right? I have that. And then I have, this is my Samsung Galaxy 20 something girl ultra, whatever the fuck. It's the largest one. It's the one with the stylus and all of that. And I'm gonna tell you, I started using Apple because everybody else was using it. And it was just easy to send videos, pictures, and texts at a time from Apple to Apple versus Apple to Android. But I preferred Android and I always would have Apple as a work phone. So I started getting Apple as a work phone because that's what the rest of you niggas had. But the phone that I actually preferred, that I felt like I got the most out of, that I enjoyed the interface of more, it was the Android. It was the Android. Okay? The Android allowed me to multitask. The Android speaker is better. The Android's camera is always better first. The camera on this phone is way better than my iPhone. I think the iPhone might take better video sometimes, depending on which one you have. But I do feel like Samsung definitely upgraded on that. So to me, they have always been like better with the camera, better with the actual functioning of the phone. Y'all like iPhone because Apple is cultural. Apple is something that had been pushed on y'all so heavily. And then also like the uniformity of it, which is why like uniformity and conformity are always like issues for me that kind of like make me want to investigate why that's happening. Because a lot of times it's just a way to get y'all to fall for something, right? Like all of that streamlining of shit, it turned into them constantly charging y'all for new shit all the fucking time. Now you don't even give chargers and earbuds with the phone anymore. You know what I'm saying? Which is the craziest shit. It's crazy how at the beginning they were offering more and now they're offering less and we're paying more. It's actually quite ridiculous, and Apple is annoying as fuck to me for that fact. Okay? But I do like this MacBook Pro. Was it an M4 or some shit like that? It's an M4, you know, something I went into debt for. Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. This computer I'm working on right now, okay, it was worth it, girl. Okay? But yeah, no, y'all ain't good just because y'all Apple. Fuck y'all. So yeah, y'all, that was unpopular opinions. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let's go ahead and get into the HBCU thing of it all. First of all, I want to start off with this. Howard University unenrolls 500 plus freshmen over tuition, even turns away late payments, right? Oh, my bad, y'all. Yeah, y'all can't hear that. Hold up. What I wanted to say though, I mean, we heard this story, right? Apparently what colleges have started to do is over enroll everybody, like enroll as many people as they possibly can. And then because of what's going on with Trump and the Department of Education and all of those things, the kids are not getting their grants. They're not getting their financial aid on time because of what's going on in the government. Because they don't get their shit on time, they get unenrolled, right? A lot of people were trying to make this. I saw a lot of people in the comments, did they not know the deadline? You know, just automatically making the kids responsible for what happened. When no, they overshot it and the people did not get the money in time. And that's also not their fault because they're not in charge of disbursement. Once they tell you that you're going to get this certain amount of money to cover your tuition, that's it. That's it. You just waiting on them to disperse it. And I remember what that used to be like. And them motherfuckers would play about it. That's another reason why I did not miss school, because of the bureaucracy of all of your, the financial aid process and what you have to go through with that shit. Depending on what school you go to, that shit is difficult. And for some reason, it's always more difficult at HBCUs than at PWIs. And this is not to say that one is better than the other, because I had a very rich experience at Clark Atlanta University. I had, great professors. I enjoyed my classes, but I also had great professors and really enjoyed my classes at LSU and at UNO. And I didn't have to worry about a lot of the things that, Black schools sometimes have a very unorganized administration situation. And because the PWIs have to deal with the Karens and the Kevins coming down there to complain, their shit is a little bit more together. A lot of the times it's an easier process. I didn't realize how easy the process could be because I started out my process going to Clark Atlanta University. Then when I went to LSU and UNO and saw how easy the shit was, I was just like, oh my God. To me, the process within itself has always been a fucking headache. It should not be this hard. And it's this hard on purpose, y'all. It's this hard on purpose. A filing borrower defense right now as we speak. I ain't paying for ish. No, I still feel like there needs to be a lawsuit about all of these student loans because I feel like all of them were predatory. All of them were predatory. Y'all basically said, if you don't sign your name on this loan, you're not going to get an education. It was predatory because y'all preyed on the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of young people, especially young Black people trying to go to college to better themselves and get out of fucked up situations. college has always been, especially college has always been a stressful situation. And when you like 18, 19, 20 years old and you still trying to handle these things on your own without your parents always helping you and shit, and then living on your own for the first time, which is also like an emotional thing that you have to deal with when you go to campus and you living around all of these different people that you never met before, right? You're out of your comfort zone. It's just all of these things that are going on at that time in your life where you are not really like you're not clear on all of these decisions. And you're really just doing the best you can do based on what you've been taught. So understanding this very, very crucial time for young people as they're entering into adulthood, that a cushioning between their household and the rest of the world, I believe, is very needed. And because it's not a part of the way we raise children, y'all be like 18, you grown, and throw them out on the street and shit like that. College is a way for them to have an intermediate area. They are still very much kids that are supposed to be being nurtured. Y'all on the internet talking that shit about these bonnets and fucking do-rags and the pajamas and shit that the PWIs don't even give a fuck about. Right? They don't even care about that shit. Black people, y'all on the internet talking about how shit is tacky and it look bad, and you're sitting there on your fucking computer with curly hair that used to be considered unprofessional, natural hair that used to be considered unprofessional. You're sitting there with red color in your head that could have been considered unprofessional. You're sitting there with locks in your head that could have been considered unprofessional. Because black people's hair is the only fucking hair that anybody wants to make laws about so we can call it unprofessional and add morality onto it. And the problem is the HBCUs don't even have their shit together on a clerical level, and you worrying about external things that in the grand scheme of things don't matter. I'm about to get a whiteboard. I ordered a whiteboard today because I feel like we need some visual shit sometimes. If I could write it down, this is what I would write down. Y'all's need to worry about shit that doesn't matter is a problem. It's a problem. And you don't recognize that your standard of perfection is a byproduct of racism, because at some point, black people were not allowed to exist without conforming to these standards. You're not making it up on your own, hun. I had people telling me, a white person doesn't have to tell me what to think. Bitch, a white person did tell you what to think. You just are not investigating why you think the way that you do. But you do want to hold other people to this ridiculous standard while you refuse to do any real thought about it, any real practical thought about it. Howard unenrolled more than 500 incoming freshmen this week after they missed a July 10th deadline to pay tuition or set up payment arrangements, just weeks before the fall semester begins August 17th. One mother told 7 News DC she tried to pay her daughter's outstanding balance after receiving the unenrollment notice, but was turned away. So what that tells me is y'all overshot it. Y'all really can't support all of those students. And you are like, just basically dropping them and then acting like it's because they didn't pay on time when that's not really what it was. But to me, it sounds like the kids were waiting for disbursement. Disbursement did not come on time for whatever reasons, which I'm sure are connected to what's going on in our government right now, because y'all thought that getting rid of DEI was a smart thing because we're all equal, right? Not understanding taking away those protections also meant taking away programs that help black people go to school. Y'all annoy me. Yes. Yeah, I totally agree about it's Washington versus Du Bois debate all over again. We have been having this debate as black people for a long time. We have. And you know what's so aggravating about it? That we actually have the statistics and the stats to show that we can never be a good enough Negro. We could never be sharp enough. We could never be clean enough. We could never be good enough for a person that wants to hate us anyway. And so there's no reason to continue to care about those things. Not really. You do them to take care of yourself because that's what's most important, but you don't internalize them and adopt them and use them as a way to punch down on other Black people so you can feel better about yourself, which is what the boys and a lot of you niggas are doing. And I think it's funny there's a lot of light-skinned bitches talking to me about this shit. Sure. Now, when I see this, I don't see the problem. I went to Clark Atlanta University in 2006, 2007. I went to LSU 2008, 2009. And I finished at UNO because I didn't like LSU. I had some good classes there. I had a really great history teacher at LSU that I really adored her class. At UNO, I had a spectacular Black literature professor. We covered a lot of Harlem Renaissance poetry and short stories written by Black people during that time, and we analyzed it. I also took a lot of really great film classes at UNO where we analyzed a lot of film and old media. I was taught how to do this. And then because I enjoy education and I enjoy knowing shit as a Gemini, I then go and seek out the books myself and read them myself because I like to understand shit. What the fuck does wearing a bonnet on campus and during class have to do with what happens after that? For a long time, we've understood that you can wear pajamas and very casual, comfortable clothes to class because what's most important is that you focus on the information. And sometimes being uncomfortable makes it hard to focus on the information. My main point with this is that white students are not being policed in this way. And there's an overall lack of empathy in a lot of the conversations that I see people having around this subject. And I'm also really bothered by the fact that y'all can't see that the more y'all become conservative, the more the white supremacy from the White House on down is trickling down onto you. The problem is you are not going to be saved by the things you perpetuate that push forth this stupid ass white supremacist culture that has to add stigma onto any and everything that Black people do to the point that y'all are adding all of this extra shit to somebody putting a bonnet on their head. Tuskegee, honestly, I don't know who the new person is, but I don't like him. I don't like him. I understand you don't want them to wear pajamas, fine. But the bonnets and the do-rags is ridiculous. What the fuck is the problem with slippers? To me, all of this screams is these Black children look too comfortable. We need to make sure that they're not too comfortable because it's making us uncomfortable. And we're uncomfortable because we're used to being judged based on our Blackness. And being too comfortable means that you're not clean. You're not kept. Not realizing that, again, this is a hyper policing. This picture looks like AI. It does look like AI because they're not actually walking around like this all the time. But a few of them are. Some of them are going to have on regular clothes. Some of them are going to have on do-rags and bonnets. This is not a big deal. This photo does look like AI, but the visual of it still does not bother me. It does look AI, no shade. No, it does. It does. I hate the AI shit. I wish people would go back to using regular pictures and regular video of people. Like, we got cell phones everywhere. You mean to tell me you can't get no fucking video or picture of people on campus at none of these schools? You got an AI everything? Yeah. And I don't like that y'all keep using the same AI format. So everybody's, screens look the same. It's annoying. But yes, y'all. So this is some of the comments. I actually was going back and forth with another content creator. And when I tell you she feels so strongly about this situation, she said that this was excellent news. What college is next? Then she commented it twice. She commented on this shit 2 times because she feels so strongly that Black people being outside with bonnets means that they're unkept, dirty, and trifling. And she feels very, very strongly about it. And so she doesn't understand any of the other points that I was bringing up when we were going back and forth. I would say they're also saying that they can't wear bonnets in the cafeteria. That doesn't really make sense because people that work in the cafeteria wear bonnets to keep their hair out of the food. Why would this be an issue when the Black students live there? They live there, y'all. High school and college are not the same because you live on a college campus, which means, as I've already said, there are some days where you don't have a class. You're chilling in your dorms that day. I have to get up and be professional to go get something to eat at the cafeteria. Why do I have to do that? It's because people are so hustle culture. They feel like every time a Black person is seen somewhere, they need to be ready for somebody to offer them a fucking job when you know that that's not realistic at all. And nobody should have to live like that. Nobody should have to be professional 24 hours a day in a place where they live. They don't just go to class there. They live there. Y'all mad about people wearing slides? Why? What is the problem? And it's because for me, you can't make that make sense. In y'all's mind, y'all think we're letting them wear do-rags on college campus. They're going to be wearing do-rags at the job. Meanwhile, 300,000 Black women lost their jobs and we ain't hear nothing about them coming to work with do-rags or bonnets on being the reason why they lost their fucking jobs. Clothes that you wear to bed should not be worn in public. It's not hard to put on some sweats and a t-shirt. That's fine. It's not that hard for you. It's not that hard for you in the moment. But when kids have like a lot of work that they're doing, they're working jobs, they're also studying and doing a lot. Sometimes it is easier for them to jump up, brush their teeth, wash their face. And if they have on pants and a t-shirt, to just go to class in the pants and the t-shirt that they have on. Like, I don't understand this need to be hyper performing all the time because it doesn't help you and it doesn't serve you. And I really feel like a lot of the people that feel this way, y'all have internalized bullshit and you may not have been in the spaces that you're trying to get in. So you don't know that none of those people that dress a certain way have high enough morality to judge you simply for putting on a fucking bonnet. Professors that fuck their students. All kind of shit be going on behind the scenes. And the not protecting the women and girls on campus from assault. So much other shit. The Tuskegee has like a low percentage of graduation rates. Why do you think them being professional on campus all the time is going to help them? I actually think this is a positive step. It encourages young African-American college students and future leaders to present themselves with confidence, professionalism, and pride because they should have to be like that every day, all the time, everywhere they go, right? The way you carry yourself often shapes first impressions, and learning that early is an advantage. The fact that y'all think we should apply negativity to the kids going to the cafeteria with a bonnet on, y'all can rationalize this shit any way y'all want to, but y'all are acting as if people don't understand the difference between going to class and going to a job. They do understand. Now, what a lot of y'all are responding to is the fact that these kids don't give a fuck. And the reason that they don't give a fuck is because what we've all figured out is that you can do all of the things and those jobs will fire you. They will fight tooth and nail to not have to pay you appropriately for your time. They won't want to give you health care. They will keep you part-time. I was a very well educated, always upkept. I have never been outside in a fucking bonnet for real. When I have locks and all of those like hairstyles that have a lot of hair, I'm more inclined to have bonnets on my head to just kind of get that hair from off of my shoulders and shit if I'm doing something, right? You think I'm not clean and I haven't brushed my face or washed my teeth or washed my ass because I need something to hold my hair is insane. It's insane. You're not going to convince me that your hyper professional standard means anything, because it actually doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. Then people overwork you no matter what. They ignore unprofessionalism from the people they want to ignore it from. I'm not saying that these kids should not go out here and do the best that they can to get whatever they're trying to get out of life. But I feel like the hyper policing is not actually helping anybody, but it's satiating this need that y'all have to virtue signal and act like you're a better Negro, as if that has ever worked. Why wear something outside that you sleep in your bed? I don't know why y'all are acting like y'all don't understand this. I don't know why y'all are acting like y'all don't understand this. Covering your hair, just protecting your hair, period, from outside shit. This is really not that, like, it's not rocket science. It's just something to hold your hair. It is not lingerie, bitch. It's not lingerie. Y'all keep saying it's something that you sleep in, as if people don't sleep in socks, basketball shorts, and t-shirts, which are all things that people wear in a classroom. Y'all, as Black people, a lot of times y'all are so focused on what shit look like and not what's actually happening that you would rather be harmful for the sake of perception. And that is sick as fuck to me. What's also sick as fuck is the way y'all have internalized things. You're defending something that you wouldn't even do. Yes, sweetheart. Yes, because I don't need to control other people. I can have a standard for myself and recognize that because I have that standard for myself, it doesn't mean that the next person has that same standard for themselves. I have worn bonnets outside before because I have locks or I had a lot of hair, as I just said. But I don't feel like that how I feel about my life needs to be pushed on other people to the point of penalizing them and obstructing their education about something that is ridiculous, because when they become adults, they'll be able to be at their houses, at Walmart, at the grocery store, walking around their neighborhoods in a fucking bonnet. And you can look at them and feel a way, but it's not illegal and it should not be. It should not be. You can feel that it's tacky. It should not be penalized. And I'm a person that understands that I can have a certain rule for myself, but that doesn't mean I have the right to push that on other people. Because you know what my mind understands? Do you know what my mind understands? That a person can go to class in a bonnet and still be clean and still do their work and then still get ready for their job interview and look great, and then go to work and look great. I understand that that can happen because I watched it happen, because this isn't a rule on everybody's campus. And what y'all fail to understand in your very surface level arguments against me is that this same policing is not happening to white children, because at PWIs, they get to show up in their pajama pants and their slides and a t-shirt, and their professors don't care about it, because what they want them to be focused on is learning in this interim space between childhood and adulthood. I wouldn't wear a bonnet on my hair outside now because, girl, I get too fucking hot. I don't even like keeping the shit on my head at night. Does that mean that I look at other black people and feel like, ew, when they wear it? No. No, I don't. Because I understand. And also, this is another thing that pisses me off about this. Y'all get on the internet and you watch people be extremely successful making every video with a fucking bonnet. Then you watch black women create enterprise around bonnets. You watch black men create enterprise around do-rags, selling them, turning them into fashion statements, trying to destigmatize them because it's just a part of black culture and it should not be automatically assigned to raggedy the way y'all like to do. And it's judgmental because you hold yourself to a standard that should only be for yourself, but should be investigated because a lot of the times y'all have standards that are ridiculous and were passed down from other ridiculous people. I have never in my fucking life walked into a college classroom, and I went to college. Like I said, I went to 3 colleges. I have never given a fuck about what somebody else had on in class. Right, the Bonnet Chronicles. There are people that are PhDs. There are people that are extremely successful in their fields, and they get on the internet every other day in a bonnet and tell y'all how they feel about something, and they make a lot of fucking money doing it. What are y'all talking about? And then ask yourself, why are you trying to perpetuate these like problematic things? Why are you not trying to liberate and give people the option to do whatever they feel comfortable with? Why do you want to control what other people are doing? That is a you thing. I don't need to control what other people are doing. I don't need to add judgment onto black girls unnecessarily because they just don't want to have their fucking hair out. Because you don't care when it's a religious thing, right? You don't respect just a person's autonomy to not want their hair exposed. That's not a good enough reason to respect them, right? No, it has to have a Father God religion attached to it. And then you'll allow a bitch to cover her hair. Y'all are not going to convince me otherwise. And all of your little laugh emojis and surface level straw man arguments are just sad. It's just really sad. And it's very true. Every day I go back to what India Ari said. An old black lady in a tree ain't never lied. Okay? Everybody don't want to be free. Because a lot of y'all just want to uphold the bullshit instead of trying to get rid of it. And that's because you don't want to actually think any of this shit through. You just don't. Bonnets, do-rags, why Tuskegee's dress code sparked national conversation about HBCU culture. This is Essence. Essence put the man's whole message here, which honestly I felt like in some ways you're just trying to police black girls' bodies. I don't care. That's how I feel about it. A lot of y'all, especially a 32-year-old man, a lot of y'all have very misogynistic, red-pilled mindsets, and then you enter into a HBCU space with those same red-pill, ignorant mindsets that you've heard these niggas talk about on the internet, and now you want to create rules for what happens at a university that's supposed to be a safe space for black students and not a place where they're policed and held to a higher standard than white children at PWIs. Yeah. Respectability politics has been highly researched, talked about in the black community, which is why I don't understand why so many of you niggas who act like y'all have sense or act like y'all know, because a lot of this is I dress a certain way, I look a certain way, so I know better. And the fact of the matter is the fact that you think that way shows that you absolutely don't. And the point is flying over your head because you think how somebody looks dictates what they know. And that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Because y'all thought Dr. Cheyenne Bryant knew what the fuck she was talking about. And I told y'all off rip, as a person that has not been to college since 2010, that if she had read any fucking books in her field that a college level course would ask you to read, she would not be saying some of the shit that she said. Because how people look is not good enough for me. That's not good enough. You can be just as clean and well kept and presentable as you want to and not know a motherfucking thing on a job. Not know a motherfucking thing you talking about and cause exponential harm because niggas care more about how people look than what they actually say and what they know. Essence Magazine agrees with me. And I feel like as a Black person that grew up very much understanding respectability politics and sticking to them, I was able to observe how they still did not serve me. It still did not help me have a better experience. It didn't. They still treated me the way they treated me. They actually were intimidated by the fact that I was good at shit, that I was smart, that I adapted quickly, that I could follow direction without submitting my personality and my personhood to people. And my father just basically taught me, if you do the work, you don't have to kiss nobody's ass. That's what I was taught growing up. Other niggas was taught to kiss ass and that's how you get ahead. That wasn't what I was taught. I was taught my work would speak for itself. I probably said it fucked up. Y'all know, these ignorant people in the comments get me all hot and bothered and upset because these issues are real. Because when this becomes practical, you're turning away Black students from class over shit that doesn't matter. You are hindering their education over something that doesn't matter. And the reason why wearing a bonnet to class doesn't matter is because that within itself does not dictate that a student is not smart enough to know that when they go on a job or a job interview to dress appropriately. And that is still something that can be taught versus something that they should be penalized for. You can teach something to the kids. You don't have to penalize them in order to teach them the lesson. You can have like we used to do at Clark. Business courses always had classes that taught y'all how to dress and how to present yourself in a professional environment. I don't know. And then I said that a lot of times talking to some of these people and they will ignore it. They ignore every point for why this is not practical, why there's a better way to handle it, why it's anti-Black, and they don't care. All they care about is they think it's tacky. They think that bonnets are for inside of your house and that's all that matters. Which is a very regressive way of thinking because you can't think any further than your own comfortability. You can't think any further than your own standard and the virtue signaling that you're doing to make yourself seem better than other people when you can literally be a dummy, bitch. And a bitch could be way smarter than you with a PhD, magna cum laude, with a bonnet on her head. Especially because bonnets are really, in actuality, no different than when a doctor has to put their hair up because they can't go into a surgery room with their hair exposed. No different than the cafeteria workers on the college campus that are going to have to put hair nets on so that their hair doesn't go in the food. When I talk about these very practical things that shows that this is not really something that makes sense, y'all have no argument for it. All you care about is your feelings and making sure these white folk know you're a good nigga. Because I have been in the spaces, I have been around the people. I'm actually somebody that gets along with white people a lot of the time, believe it or not. So I've been around them. I've been in their spaces. I know what they're like, and I know what these professional settings are like. And after learning everything I've learned, fuck their standards. Because their standards will have shit in a suit. I don't care how you feel about a bonnet being worn in the house when people get on the internet and see motherfuckers in bonnets every day. People are not just wearing bonnets to sleep, bitch. They're not. They're wearing bonnets just to keep their hair off their face, to keep their hair covered, to keep their hair off their shoulders. There are a whole bunch of reasons to wear a bonnet that is not just about laying in a bed. Again, a bonnet is not lingerie. And to me, when we get into the conversation, oh, well, why can't they wear scarves? They used to call scarves unprofessional as well. It is a slippery slope, the policing. That's why we said that, because one day it's do-rags and bonnets, and the next thing it's your locks and your curly hair and your hair wraps. And then y'all keep changing the rules. And then when we bring up the historical context, that was back then, this is now. Girl, what the fuck is your point? What does that matter? We decide these things. People in time decide these things. Without your stigma and your negative attitude about it, it doesn't mean that just by itself. That is the fucking point. Graduate from certain thoughts of being at some point. Especially if you just gonna be sitting your ass on the internet trying to make yourself feel better about yourself. Girl, I would never do that. Bonnets are for inside. I would never wear that outside. Girl, don't nobody give a fuck about what you would do. You also would lay down with a dirty dick nigga and not ask for him to put a condom on. The fuck? You also walk out your house with a tight ass dress on without no fucking Spanx on, bitch. That used to be a requirement. Where are your Spanx, bitch? Slippery slope, ho. Next thing you know, they don't like y'all wearing long nails. Next thing you know, you can't wear hoop earrings. Next thing you know, you can't wear braids. We don't go outside naked because of the elements. That's why. Because that's not safe for our bodies to go out into the elements nude. Especially as people, women, girls who have crevices that shit can crawl up under, it will behoove us to not ever walk around completely naked outside. The way, the extremes. Girl, we can't have a specific conversation without niggas, coming to the extreme of it all. Ooh. White folks were the ones that taught me that the richest, most talented folks are the ones who look like they shop at Goodwill. Absolutely. That's another thing we learned. And then also learning that white people wear what's most comfortable for them. They don't have black hair. A lot of times when, I heard a lot of black women say shit like, put a hat on. And I'm like, okay, so now let's talk about how hats are not made for black people's heads all the times because we have thicker hair. That's how y'all don't understand the lack of equity, because you have to make up for where there is a lack of equality. That's where equity comes in. Black people have different types of hair. That's why HBCUs are supposed to allow those things, because it's giving reverence for the fact that black people have different types of hair than white people. And y'all are looking at white people to set a standard based on shit that they just don't have to do. Hampton bans locks and cornrows. Child, do they still have students? Is a hat not a hair covering? It is. It is. But they'll keep repeating like a fucking parrot that it's for bed. It's for bed. It's for bed. Girl, bitch, so is tea. So is tea. Tea is for bed as well, ho. And I'm still drinking it during the day. Now what? So is the Golden Girls. The Golden Girls is for nighttime. I might watch it sometimes at 3 o'clock in the daytime if I feel like it. Anything I decide that's for bed is for fucking bed. And anything I decide that I can walk out the house in, as long as I'm not exposing my nether regions and my nipples to the world, get the fuck out of my face. Now, let me, because, y'all annoying me, right? You know what I mean? Hold up. That's not what I want to do. I want to go here. Because the shit don't be making sense. And I just want y'all to know, like, I've always detested dress codes, because dress codes have always given be less yourself, don't be who you are, conform to this like factory setting that we want everybody to be at, don't have any individualism, right? Act in accordance with how everybody wants you to look so that everybody else can feel comfortable. And when we stifle your self-expression, we stifle you being yourself. When we stifle you being yourself, we're making it so that you can just be another cog in a system. It takes away your humanity. At the end of the day. All right, let me read some of these super chats. I know ain't nobody in my comments telling me to shut the hell up. I know you ain't talking to me. I just want to make sure. But I just know you ain't talking to me. You might have been agreeing with me, girl. I don't know. But I see ma'am shut the hell up in my comments, and I just want to be clear. Okay. Farm the Sea, thank you for the super chat, boo. Everything our uni does is to progress us in our world. We have to show up in excellent, whether that be our curfew, dress codes, alcohol bans, etc. Everything our uni does is to progress us. You staying in the mindset of conservatism is not progressive. How y'all feel about how people dress is about... Oh, they talking to you, ma'am. Okay, I was confused. I wanted to make sure. I was like, are they calling me ma'am with a Y in it? Or is that somebody's name, girl? You'll be hyper vigilant up here because people be talking to you crazy. I know. I see it now. I see it now. Thank you, Farm to See, but I totally disagree with this. Progression is not being hyper focused on conservative, anti-black sentiments. And this is a conservative, anti-black sentiment. That's not progressive at all. And also, I just want to say, no disrespect, but I do find it interesting that every time somebody is talking to me about black excellence, they're speaking grammatically incorrect. And I just don't understand what be really going on. Everything our uni does is to progress us in our world. And I know it's probably an accident, but still, we have to show up in excellent, whether that be our curfew, dress codes, alcohol bans, etc. Yeah, no, I don't feel like black people should have to show up in excellence to white people's standards at all time, every day, no matter what. I don't. I absolutely don't. And I think it is a byproduct of racism that y'all have internalized. And so you feel like you have to show up a certain way 24/7, 365 black. I think that it's not expected of anybody else, and it shouldn't be expected of us. We should be allowed to exist without the connotation of we're not excellent because we're wearing a bonnet. When at the end of the day, there's a girl somewhere in somebody's class studying for a PhD, kicking ass and making all A's in a fucking bonnet. Because you can both be excellent and wear a bonnet. That is the point. And the university is about making money. And they're trying to get money from conservative donors because that's who is taking up a lot of space right now, is conservative white people that are trying to oppress you. But because they're doing it through your black HBCU dean, right? You can't see that this nigga ain't really for the blacks because you think being excellent is going to save you from something. It's really not about looking nice. It's really not about looking nice because I've seen people in do-rags and like we just saw, nothing wrong with the way them kids look. Got that university t-shirt on, some sweatpants and a fucking do-rag. What of it? There's nothing that looks dirty about that, but what you see is what it looks like when black people are in their environment and they're comfortable. That's what you're seeing. Black people in an environment and being comfortable in an environment. And it is a byproduct of racism that we never feel comfortable. It is a byproduct of racism that we police ourselves and they police us because we are never allowed to be comfortable. It's not regional, it's Tuskegee, and they are taking it out on the students. I'm one of my favorite content creators. Let me play what he said, because I thought what he said was good too. Okay, laying here with his do-rag on. Bitch, I got do-rag in buku different colors. And sometimes I wear the do-rag to cover the top of my head, and I wear it as a style, because it is a head covering. And it's a pretty color. And it matches whatever I have on. You've decided I'm not clean now? Go to hell. I smell like father figure, bitch. I smell great. My God, on this good day. Girl, let me, because I meant to put my audio. Girl, let me change my audio back. Thank y'all for being here. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow BondyBlue Bites, my secondary channel. That's where I cut up these long form lives and post them. So if you don't want to sit through the whole live all the time and you just want to see my content in short form, make sure to follow me over there on BondyBlue Bites. Now, let's take a listen.
Least favorite genre of black. Personally, I hate a respectable Negro. They're like my least favorite genre of black. The crazy thing about it is they love a rags to riches story, but hate you when you're in your rags. And you would think that with everything that is going on in this country, with people, with kids being priced out of education, loans and grants being taken away, little black kids being shot dead in the streets, being hung, being beaten and drowned, that this wouldn't be their priority, but it absolutely is. A respectable Negro doesn't care about actual black people. They care about optics. They care about the optics of black people. They always care about how something looks. It's kind of like that year that Howard had those busted pipes and mold in their student dorms, and the students were complaining about it, but you know what Howard had? A wall of shoes. Jordan shoes, some of the most nigger rich shit that you would ever see. The Howard Wall reveal. I still hate them. I swear sometimes you don't know.
And I feel exactly the same way. I feel exactly the same way, because that's exactly what this sounds like. Y'all always worrying about how something looks and you care nothing about what's going on underneath. It is. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb and it's stupid.
If you're listening to a respectable Negro or if you're just reading the Willie Lynch letter. And another thing, if somebody has enough of an understanding to know that they cannot wear a do-rag or a bonnet to a job at McDonald's, what makes you think that somebody with a college education doesn't know the same thing about a professional environment? I.e. their job. It's about optics. A lot of these kids are working jobs because they don't have scholarships and they don't have grants that can allow them to pay for school and not worry about that. They get enough job like a Taco Bell at 2 o'clock in the morning to race back home because they can't afford to stay on campus, and then get up after a few hours and come into an 8 a.m. class and you worried about what's on their head. It's always about optics with these respectable ass Negroes. Personally,
always about what it looks like. And what I experience most of the time is that what it looks like doesn't match up to what it actually is. And if it's not actually that, how it looks doesn't even fucking matter. That is where I've come to with this. And also, there's a level of sexism and misogynoir that's happening, because y'all really don't have a problem with people wearing bonnets outside. I mean, do-rags outside, but you have a problem with the bonnets. You have a problem with the bonnets because they remind you of, ignorant, poor, slew-footed single mamas walking in dirty hood neighborhoods, right? Right. And y'all work on my nerves. This is a do-rag appreciation post. Okay. Hold up. Let me pull it up. Because black people are fire as fuck. And y'all be all here for it when y'all want to talk about what it is to have black culture and all of that. But when it comes down to it, you want to oppress black culture. This just goes to show we decide what's for inside and what's for outside. Because, bitch, if a velvet do-rag is not for outside, I don't know what we're talking about. You see how just because you change the material, it's still the same thing? A head covering? But you can just deem the blackness of it all problematic. You can deem the blackness of it all an issue. But you love it when you see when you see black people shining, right? And I grew up the same way. I remember feeling like I didn't like gold teeth and all of that shit. I don't feel that way anymore. I grew up out of that because I read books and I realized where that came from. That came from different people's cultures, black people's cultures that we were told is not respectable, so we should stop doing it. And now that I'm older, that's why I love the type of black that I am. That's why I love Big Crit so much. I am a Southern black, bitch. I am educated and I am a Southern black. We absolutely understand the dichotomy of both understanding that you need for your shit to slap. You need for your shit to be clean, right? You're smart. You read the books. You work on yourself. But also, you love black shit. And black shit is do-rags. And bitches that's creating all these different types of bonnets. And the bonnets look different all the time. Now we got crocheted bonnets. The girls then done some other stuff with the bonnets. Hold up. This right here, adorable. It's adorable. It's adorable. And if the white girl showed up with the Hello Kitty version of this on their head, y'all would just be like, oh, there go those, those white girls wearing those little weird ass kitty hats on again. Now, I'm going to use my girl Cindy Noir for I'm going to use her for a segue. Because in one moment she's talking about
example of our language being taken. Just coming back here to report that this video got me a feature in an article on New York Times. Your girl is officially on in New York Times from this video. And let me just say this. In the years that I wore bonnets the most on social media, I received so much judgment and flack from people for wearing bonnets in my content. No one's going to take you seriously. This is so juvenile, so immature. Me in a bonnet got me on New York Times. Me in a bonnet got me on USA Today. Me in a bonnet got me on The Jennifer Hudson Show. I think the lesson there is the people who need to see you are going to see you regardless. Because your girl's not on New York Times. I'm just saying.
And so with this is then more evidence to prove my point is that y'all think shit that matter don't matter. That's a prime example of that shit. Somebody still being able to be extremely successful, be considered intelligent for their thoughts, and be wearing a bonnet while doing it.
Tuskegee is.
Hold up. I wonder if I could play Son's rap on my channel because I thought it was great. I might have to edit this out later. Y'all make sure y'all tip me. Thank you. Mac Infinity.
Banning bonnets and do-rags to prepare them with a solid foundation for the same workforce that is laying all black people at astronomical rates, and then it's sparking a debate between respectable blacks and niggas. For context, I am a graduate of Dillard U and HBCU in the heart of Gentilly NOLA. If you ask what I think today, I say the Klan burn black people in suits and use their skin for boots. And I'm not speaking out the side of my neck. This is the truth. Evidence says that dress codes raise stress through the roof. And I'm not talking about the tightness of belts or the way that they felt. I'm talking about saving black people that need a help. We involve from institutions, so as a solution, we made our own schools for education. Even though the school was funded by white patrons, this was a way of taking back what they had took for months at the plantation. In conclusion, I'm not saying there isn't a time and place, but what the fuck the do-rags gonna do with being erased and our rights is being taken directly in front of our face, and they killing niggas for sport and our support is going to waste. A place that should be safe is wearing the same cape that made it hard for me to get a job in the first place. Survival is a hell of a high, but I think we should be dying to live instead of living to die. Why? Tuskegee is bad.
Bitch. Listen. And listen, we don't have to, but we can. Thank y'all for reminding me before I segued into the fatphobic conversation. But yeah, Ryan Clark didn't have to tell me this because I'm a black person that worked in corporate America at a news station ran by, corporate white companies, white people for 8 years of my life. I also grew up around a lot of white people. I went to, white schools at different times. So I am very much well aware of how harshly we are judged, no matter how great we are, which is why I arrive in my 40s at I don't give a fuck what they think about us, because essentially they don't hold themselves to the same standard ever. And why should I be bending myself into a motherfucking pretzel about some bullshit that don't even matter? Let's listen to Ryan Clark talk about how he couldn't be himself on the job. And that's another thing. That's another reason why I don't like that bullshit, because I feel like working these jobs and the microaggressions of white people is oppressive, and it eats away at the health of black people. That's why a lot of you niggas can't work these jobs, because you don't have the temperament to deal with the type of abuses that black people have to deal with in corporate America.
For 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me sad is, even in trying to adjust to be at least more
of what they want,
certain people wanted,
never good enough.
They still fired me. Man, like this show, for 3 years, bro.
And that's what we've all learned. The millennials, yeah, that's what we learned. That we did everything the way everybody told us to, and they still fucked over us. And they didn't even give us what they gave our parents. And a lot of us have still, regardless to all of that respectability politics bullshit, created fantastic lives for ourselves on social media, wearing fucking bonnets and do-rags. And listen, I understand it, y'all, because I used to feel the same way. But the more understanding, the less judgment. Especially when it comes to black people and things that don't really have any real bearing on anything. You can walk around your neighborhood in a fucking bonnet or a do-rag, bitch. You live there. Like, what is stopping you from doing that in college is expected to make you feel like you have to be professional everywhere. You can learn that anyway. Now you learn that shit anyway.
Well, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year.
Yeah. And when you think about that in its totality, that I am cutting off of pieces of myself, or I'm holding myself to an extremely high standard. I'm overworking myself so that I can overperform so that white people will respect me and receive me well. That is literally what everybody is doing in these fucking jobs. And honestly, the jobs that require that need to be done away with. The white people that feel like certain things need, y'all need to be done with. Y'all need to be over. Y'all need to be done with, because it's really just a byproduct of colonialism. Y'all don't realize that, but fuck, books will tell you that a lot of the laws that came up in dress codes, girl, actually, I went to the Britannica, the Encyclopedia Britannica, and they said for centuries, clothing was a strict wearable status symbol. That's what they said. Similarly, in the 18th century, South Carolina, the Negro Act made it illegal for enslaved black individuals to dress above their condition to maintain white supremacy. You see how 1 minute they want you to cover your hair up, the next minute they want you to take the hair covering off. 1 minute they want you to dress like a slave so that you don't look richer than white people, and the next they want you to be in a fucking 3-piece suit everywhere you go so that you can keep the standard that they've set. You don't see the back and forth tiring bullshit that is? No? Okay. Well, AI Overview with the Encyclopedia Britannica for the source says that dress codes originated as legal mechanisms to enforce class distinctions and morality. From the Renaissance sumptuary laws to modern workplace and K-12 schools, these rules dictate social standing, gender roles, and power dynamics. frequently sparking civil rights battles over personal expression and cultural identity. This is not a new conversation, and the way a lot of y'all are talking to us is, I can't believe they're arguing for you to wear a bonnet. Yes, bitch, we argue and fight for the liberation of black people to not be policed. You're right. I don't know why you can't believe that. Maybe it's because you never went to college. Because honestly, I was questioning a lot of you hoes that was talking about college is a professional space. Have you ever been to college? I wanted to ask people. Somebody asked me that, even though I said in the video that when I went to school, you could wear very casual, comfortable clothes in class. That was not the most important thing, especially on the HBCU, where there is we're fostering a safe space for black kids here type thing going on. Oh, Lord. No matter how much evidence y'all get that being a good nigga does not help you, y'all still gonna be up here demeaning other black people so that you can stand on top of them as the better nigga. I'm so proud and happy for all of you better niggas. Y'all give it up for yourselves. All you high standard having niggas. All you entrepot broke ass niggas. Welcome to the Players Club. Okay? I'm sorry. We're not. Go to hell. So yes, fat phobic. So yeah, y'all fat phobic. I've been, girl, it's always surprising hearing certain people's takes. It be people you'll never guess have some very conservative views on shit. And you just be like, bitch, you? That's crazy. Okay, anyway, so first of all, I just have like developed this, like me and Samara do not know each other, but we're both from New Orleans. And I have a very, I have a love of what it is to be a black girl growing up in New Orleans that has like, we shake ass and do bounce. And again, we have ripped ourselves of some of this respectability politics shit, regardless of the fact that we have personal standards. We know not to judge other black people by those standards because we've been educated and we understand things. Okay, shout out to us. Okay? And Samara's a PhD. I think so, right? I think she got her PhD from Harvard. Either way, this is somebody that has been to the top of that hierarchical pyramid that y'all think being good niggas is gonna get y'all to. She went there. She got there already, girl. And the book she read and the understanding that she got, she came back down and tried to help us, but the niggas want to argue. You know what I'm saying? The people that don't know what the fuck is going on always want to argue with somebody that absolutely does know what the fuck is going on. Every time Samara says something about fat phobic culture, diet culture being problematic, she's 100% right. And I don't know why y'all are always arguing with her like y'all are smarter than her. Then y'all have this attitude that she's just so fucking annoying, which is annoying to me because you can just block people. You can just block them. It's very annoying to me. I find that once you understand how fucked up the world is, it's actually annoying how much they push bullshit on you. And so you speak out about the bullshit because that's what's annoying to you. All of this pushing ideals on people that are harmful. All right? So I've heard some people's arguments about this, and I feel like they're being like purposefully obtuse just because they want to have a firm leg to stand on in disagreement with what Samira said. But Samira was not wrong. She was not wrong. Okay. Plus size content creator Samira, who previously went viral after arguing that parking meters perpetuate fat phobia because they tell people not to feed the meter. And I love the way it's on site with their fat phobic asses. It sounds as if y'all did not understand. It wasn't just feed the meter. It was something else about, not eating or not getting fat on the holidays, right? Sometimes I diet. Don't feed me on the fire. Like, y'all think that dieting is good because y'all think it's just, it's making me healthy, lowering my calorie intake. That's usually what y'all say. Y'all have created this synonymous thing that to be skinny is to be healthy and to be fat is to be unhealthy. That is how y'all think. When y'all ignore that fact, we're not having a real conversation because you're being disingenuous, okay? Skinnylicious, I believe, as a lower calorie a signature thing, it's supposed to be lower calorie is often given as a health thing, not just as be skinny, but as higher calorie intake causes diabetes and all of that shit, right? Y'all act like y'all don't understand that assigning low calorie, skinny-licious, all of that shit, it's not fat phobic. It is fat phobic because what it does is put the idea of healthy, skinny, low calorie together. Even though they're not, right? Because we know there can be a lot of low calorie meals that are still unhealthy, but that is not how people actually perceive it. Another thing is that a lot of the things that are being done that's behind Samira are marketing. It's marketing. Do you know what marketing people do? They research the basically the social makeup of the place that they're about to be selling the shit to. Whatever they're, supposed to be selling, they're going to research the biases and insecurities of the people that they're about to market to so they can figure out the best way to market to them. Because somebody was in the comments talking about, that's just marketing. Bitch, do you know where marketing comes from? Do you know the point of marketing? Do you know what ends up happening when you are constantly marketing to sell things to people? What ends up happening is you're constantly trying to find people's insecurities so that you can poke them and make them want to buy something, make them want to do something. Okay? I don't understand why y'all didn't actually play her video. I don't know why y'all didn't. That's kind of annoying to me. It's on site. Any other time, y'all willing to repost somebody's stupid ass video, but when it's her, y'all don't want to post it. I feel like y'all don't like Samira either. That's what it felt like based on how y'all wrote that. Made me feel like y'all don't like Samira either. And I don't know why, but I'm starting to get real aggravated by the way y'all treat her. Even in her comments. Like when I tell y'all, the people that are always in her comments talking to her crazy, the way y'all respond to her on social media with, y'all are so aggravated by her. And so then you think you can be really like disrespectful to her. And it is literally because she's fat. Because if she wasn't fat, you would not have the same amount of vitriol for her. And then another component of this is y'all being upset that she exists in her body without shame. Y'all want her to feel shame about her body. She doesn't feel it. She fights against it. And you're offended by that because you've been taught one thing. And you put in a lot of work for this one thing. So her being a contradiction to that is going to have you niggas all emotional and not really getting the point of what she's trying to say just because, it goes against what you've been taught. I'm trying to find the original video.
Y'all do not care about fat people's health because you don't care about their mental health. The evil, deplorable, disgusting, violent videos y'all are making about me on this app are unacceptable.
No, they are.
Yes, Chili's Guiltless Grill menu is also fatphobic.
Hold up.
Because its name stems directly from toxic diet culture rhetoric to create guilt and shame around food and our bodies. And yes, they do specifically market this as their healthy, better for you options. And no, I'm not arguing that they shouldn't have these options. I am simply arguing that these options shouldn't be marketed fatphobically. Good morning. Yes.
I don't know why that's hard for everybody to understand. I understood that perfectly.
Yes, Chili's Guiltless Grill menu is also fatphobic because it's...
Okay. I'm so sorry because you just sent me a Cash App, but if I see another comment like this, I'm going to block you. If I see another comment like that, I'm going to block you. People don't need to take drugs to lose weight so that y'all can be more comfortable with who they are. Don't perpetuate anything like that in my comments, please and thank you.
Name stems directly from toxic diet culture rhetoric to...
I'm gonna let that play again.
Yes, Chili's Guiltless Grill menu is also fatphobic because its name stems directly from toxic diet culture rhetoric to create guilt and shame around food and our bodies.
To create guilt and shame around our bodies. To create guilt and shame around our bodies.
And yes, they do specifically market this as their healthy, better for you options.
And everybody knows that a skinny menu is always synonymous with health. Y'all acting like because the calories doesn't mean that the food is healthy means that they're not intending to add the shame and guilt and shame you about your weight and guilt you into wanting to be skinny. If you want to be skinny, you'll eat this part of the menu. Not if you want to be healthy, if you want to be skinny. Y'all act like it's healthy to want to be skinny because it's what everybody says is acceptable. Being skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. A lot of the times, y'all are not as strong as y'all could be if y'all lifted some fucking weights and ate some protein. But you would rather be thin than to be strong. That, to me, is stupid. But, you know, that's how y'all be. Come on, my girl.
Good morning. Just so we're all on the same page.
I'm trying to see if I can find the original.
I really hope y'all know that when it comes to fat phobia, y'all saying I'm wrong proves exactly.
2012. Let's look at Skinalicious through a different lens. So let's say you want to get your hair done. You decide you're going to book an appointment at Ulta. And as you're scrolling through their services, you come across a section that says good hair. And all of the options in that section are to straighten your hair. And while they do offer natural hair services, they are not listed in the good hair category. Now, of course, many of you would take issue with this, not because they are offering the option to straighten your hair, but rather the assertion that only straight hair is good hair. And y'all would literally be up in arms if Ulta did something like that. We understand that hair discrimination is a very real thing rooted in very real racism. And yet for some reason, a lot of y'all still seem to struggle to understand Cheesecake Factory and their fat phobia. I just needed somebody. In order to understand why Cheesecake Factory's having a menu with lower calorie options named Skinalicious is incredibly harmful, you first have to understand and acknowledge that thinness does not equate health.
So, and this is why I say that people are being like, they're being disingenuous when they argue her point against her point, because they say things like, who said Skinalicious was healthy? Bruh, it's lower calories. If you're going to act like historically we haven't been taught that a lower calorie intake is a way of being more healthy, you're being disingenuous. That's the point that we're trying to get y'all to see. When we're talking about these attitudes, when we're talking about the way things are perpetuated in our society, y'all want to start cherry picking and acting as if the overall goal is not the same, which is to shame people into being thin. That's the fucking point.
Thinness does not equate health. That is a lie taught to you by diet culture. Another thing you have to understand is that weight stigma is one of the biggest health risks in our society. Weight stigma.
Because it affects how individually you feel about yourself based on what these other people are telling you, which is not exactly true.
And you would know that if you care to read or listen to any of the books that I have recommended.
Girl, they're not gonna read. They just want to be loud, wrong, but think they right.
I've been on this app. Over the many times that I have told y'all, given y'all definitions of things.
And while we're chatting, Cheesecake Factory's Skinalicious menu is fat phobic. The fact that it is named Skinalicious because it has fewer calories and quote unquote healthier options.
Lower calories is synonymous with healthier options. And y'all acting like that's not what it is annoying to me. Like, I feel like the whole argument is y'all being like really willfully obtuse by trying to act like, well, we didn't say we wanted to be healthy. We just said we wanted to be skinny. Girl, shut the fuck up. And the main point is that you could have just called it a low calorie diet. The low calorie menu. The low-cal menu. Why does it have to be Skinalicious? Because you want to create the connection in people's minds between low-calorie, healthy, and skinny. There's no menu to make your ass fatter, is there? The fuck? Girl, you know they're not going to read. Because a lot of these things that people argue about and perpetuate can easily be remedied by reading, a lot of like respected books and papers on the situation that will present you with all of the research and understanding that has been, accumulated. Y'all won't take accumulated facts over your feelings. Y'all are like Ish on the Joe Budden podcast when it comes to Samira. Like, the facts have to fit your rhetoric in order for you to believe them. That's all that matters, is that the facts fit your rhetoric. I'm a person that always works out because I still carry the same stigmas about my own body, and I'm trying to unwrap myself from it. I want to be healthy, but I don't want to be constantly policing my body or other people policing my body because I have more muscle, and that makes me look a little fatter to you. Because the way my body carries muscle is still to have a softness to it because of these. You want me to work out my titty meat? I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Shout out to Samira, because the fat phobia and the stigma that y'all put on people being fat, just like y'all put on being bonnets, right? They lazy and they funky. Y'all put the same stigma, lazy and funky, and you don't realize that applying lazy and funky to people is a projection from white people that are always lazy and funky. Can you imagine the group of people that don't want to wash their legs and feet in the shower as if it's going to take them so much more time? These are the same people that create a standard that y'all are holding everybody to, because they created these standards. That's another, like, reading the white supremacy, like reading books on white supremacy is like understanding that people have studied this shit to back it up and realize where it actually starts to come from. My God. And this is the reason why it's a real life problem. Let's take it back to our girl Cindy Noir, reporting live down to the people.
This is why the work that Samira is doing is needed and important. So I got laid off earlier this year. In the process of being laid off, I have fallen behind on paying for my insurance. Called my insurance company today to let them know, hey, this is what's going on. I'm unemployed, money's tight. And they say, well, let me transfer you to the marketplace. You may be able to qualify for state health insurance because you're unemployed. So they transfer me. I don't qualify. Want to know why? Because my weight and height ratio falls outside of their requirements to qualify for state health insurance.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Do y'all know how Cindy looks? Cindy is another person that I feel like most of her weight is probably in her titties and in her ass. But apparently, white people deciding what is fat and what is skinny means that a black person that needs health care can't get it. And you don't realize how any of this shit is problematic because you don't think deep enough about it. And there are other people who have, because it will directly affect them. So they have the passion to go and study it and understand it so that they can dismantle it. They bring it back to those of y'all that have not done the work, and you tell them that they're the fucking problem. I swear to God, everybody doesn't want to be liberated. India Ari was right. Everybody doesn't want to be free, and everybody doesn't care with a capital C.
These folks literally told me on my phone, you too big to qualify to meet our requirements for state health insurance. Fat phobia is systemic. Mind you, I've lost 50 pounds.
Hold up. Let me talk about this right quick, because this is a good point to talk about. Who's going to Cheesecake Factory for low-calorie meals? The point is not that people are going there for low-calorie meals. I think the original point was that because their food is so unhealthy, people were going to stop going to Cheesecake Factory if they could not also eat something that wasn't high in calorie and all of that, because that's causing diabetes and high blood pressure, right? And the whole of America loves to go to a restaurant, right? And they like the food to taste good, but the food is unhealthy. So right when it's becoming like more of a thing to be conscious of calories. Actually, somebody took it back to something that Obama put into the Affordable Care Act. Obama put in the Affordable Care Act that chain restaurants have to put the calories on the menu. That's what made the change. When you had to put the calories on the menu, that meant that if people saw that this is 1,200 calories and I'm trying to make sure I don't go over 2,500 calories, then I can't eat this. So we can't go to Cheesecake Factory because they don't have anything that's under 1,200 calories. That would be a reason why people would not come to their store, not come to their restaurant. In order to offset for that, they create a low-calorie menu so that people won't stop coming to their restaurant. It's about a bottom line. It's not that people are actually going there for healthy food, but if I'm going somewhere with my family and I need something that I can eat, because we're not all going to be eating the same shit when we go to the Cheesecake Factory. And another thing is the Cheesecake Factory has such an extensive fucking menu. It's ridiculous that they don't have shit that's healthy for you to eat. That's another part of the problem. And that's about creating food that is addictive to you so that you will be unhealthy, and then you'll have to not only be paying for all of this food, right? You paying for the restaurant, you like the food, that they get money from that. And then your health issues cause you to have to go to the hospitals and big pharma, and you know, you're in the system of feeding into this system that wants to keep you unhealthy so that you can keep having to buy into it with medications and all of that shit.
Over the last 6 months.
I hope that helps.
Nope. It's not enough, still too big to qualify for health insurance that I need. I do need it. So while y'all think that Samira is reaching for critiquing SkinnyLicious and things like that, it's those small actions that lead to legislation, statewide legislation that says I'm too big to qualify for health insurance.
Right. And this is another reason why it's systemic, and we should not be individually judging people for their weight. I understand the inclination to do it, but the reason why it's not right is because of environmental factors, meaning that people are not always in control of the type of food and exercise they are capable of getting. That's why a lot of the times rich people are healthier, because they can afford healthier options and they have the free time to exercise. Because poor people, if poor people are going to be in shape, poor people need walkable environments to live in, and they need healthy food options that are not expensive. If you're not providing that, then the people are going to be unhealthy. And what y'all have decided to do is put these little things all over the place to make sure everybody's policing each other. Putting SkinnyLicious on the menu when you know it ain't nothing but fat people showing up is a way to keep in your mind that you need to be trying to be skinny. Yeah, you hear eating this fat ass food, but in your mind, you need to have it back there that you know you should feel bad about eating this food, and you should be trying to eat something that'll make you skinny. There's a lot of psychology behind marketing. I don't know why that's not apparent yet. Y'all need to go watch Mad Men or some shit, and you know, so y'all can figure out that, you know, marketing is not just marketing, bitch. It's always tapping on the insecurities of the people, because that's the only way to get people to keep buying shit, is to make them feel insecure.
It's all connected and it all matters, and I really wish y'all would get off my girl back, because the work she's doing about the quote and the awareness she's bringing to the quote unquote small things is to help combat and prevent the systemic issues we face. This is ridiculous. It
is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that because somebody decides that a person is too big, they can't get health insurance. And y'all don't understand how fat phobia is a systemic issue that is not just in the ignorances you hold on the individual level, but on the system that is in place, the marketing that is placed in front of you, the music that's being played, what you are made to think of as attractive. All of that, okay, is a systemic issue. It's not happening in a vacuum, hoes. All right. Now let's move on, because I've been up here going on 2 hours. Let's see. We chopped off that. We chopped off HBCUs having fucked up priorities, and you hoes feeling good about yourself because you hold yourself to an unrealistically high standard that you're never going to be able to keep up. But holla at me when you 40. Because it's a lot of young people having these stupid fucking conversations, and it's like, girl, just keep working and then come talk to me after you've been perfect for like 10 to 15 years and they still treating you like a nigga, still devaluing you for your work. I did excellent work at that fucking news station and never received the acclaim that I should have received for the work that I did. And so because I realized that it didn't matter how perfect I was in that space, they were never going to give me my just due, I decided to do for myself. And this is when I determined what the fucking rules are. And now my life is better. And that's not for everybody. But at the same time, that's a reason why your mindset about bonnets and do-rags is some bullshit. Anyway, and fat phobia. Fuck y'all. Make it easier for people, and then we could have conversations. I'm tired of hearing about how y'all judging people for their weight and trying to fight against fat phobia in our society, but y'all ain't making motherfuckers do nothing to help with that. Y'all don't want the government to help us do nothing. Y'all have now decided that the government shouldn't actually do anything for its people, which is another miscarriage of fucking justice amongst you niggas. My God. Anyway, let's move on because I have other shit to talk about. Oh, girl, let's go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and go. Cheyenne Bryant, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant. Child, let's listen to the story.
I shouldn't even have to do this. It's ridiculous. Over a month ago, I came to you and apologized for platforming Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I felt I had a responsibility considering my sister is the former president of the American Psychological Association, one of the youngest to ever hold that position. Not soon after that, I received an email, a cease and desist, not to mention her name or to speak to the controversy. I scanned down to the bottom, and it was not from a lawyer, not from an attorney, not anybody who was barred. It was from Cheyenne Bryant herself.
And y'all know she done pretended like she was about to be a law professor at some point. She said at some point that she was trying to get a job to be a law professor. And I'm like, now how the fuck you gonna get a job to be a law professor and you don't have a master's or a doctorate in law or in anything adjacent to it?
I said, I'm gonna walk away. I do
criminal justice, I mean, not law, criminal justice.
Not want to be a part of black on black crime. So I let it go. Never addressed it, never mentioned it again until I received this email on yesterday from Dr. Jack.
So she sent him a cease and desist on some fake lawyer shit, told him stop talking about her, right? Because she can't take people talking about the fact that she's not providing any proof that she has the credentials she says she has. And she told us that she don't have to prove to us that she has credentials because God is all that matters. Well, bitch, you need to go therapize God. You need to go have all your sessions with God and wait on him to send you a fucking check. Because the public deserves for you to know what you're talking about when you playing around in somebody's head.
Jaquel Pitts, who is serving as the president of Indiana Southwest Christian University, who said to me in writing that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has just received her PhD in theocentric psychology. I did a quick Google search. Indiana, the whole state, does not recognize Indiana Southwestern Christian University, is not registered. The president claimed that the degree is in theocentric psychology. Again, I didn't even use Claude or ChatGPT. Google the shit.
I don't trust any Christian university giving out honorary doctorates because y'all just be getting paid. Y'all just be getting paid. Also, I believe in a huge separation between church and state, right? And I also feel like because religion has been very harmful when it comes to the educational process, like y'all have decided because of your purity and religious standards, you don't want children to know things, and them not knowing things makes it more harmful for all of society that they don't understand things and they don't know certain things because you decided as their parent that you get to decide when you get to teach them about anatomy and sex and gender expression and all of those things, but you never really do because you don't know how to talk about them because it's all based in your biases, right? So something that the schools used to do, y'all, evangelicals went and lobbied to get it so that the schools don't talk about those things because you have some weird ass hang up about purity standards, right? So because of that, I don't like whenever church is involved in schools. Now, if you want to go to a theology school and get, your education about theology, that's one thing. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing for your religious practice to make you believe that you don't have to provide proof of your work.
EPUS 1 says that theocentric psychology shifts a person from ego to universal thought. I don't even know what that means.
From ego to universal thought. Well, from, I guess, their own selfish understanding of things and having more of a universal mindset about things, I guess that must mean to consider other people. But I have a firm belief that that is not what's being taught by a Christian school, because y'all don't ever really think about the overall harm or taking into account people's, at large people's harm. Y'all don't really think about that. So I don't believe that you're trying to take somebody from ego to, to caring about other. That's not how y'all be working.
The president goes on to say that they cannot provide any transcripts. I send a one-line email.
Who are you accredited
Who are y'all
by?
accredited by? And he sent me back this. Accreditation religioso. I don't know what this means. But ladies and gentlemen,
Basically, God said so. Y'all niggas gonna get the fuck out of my face with this.
the last line that I've highlighted for you is no transcript can be provided. I'm not going back and forth with y'all. The president of Indiana Southwest Christian University doesn't even have a college email. Jackwell Pitts is on Gmail. So if you want the transcript, email him directly, and maybe he'll be able to give you answers I'm not able to provide. Y'all, let's shut the case on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. The only robes I want to see people in are the 500 kids who are trying to go to Howard, an accredited school, that they can't.
And the funny part about this is, like, this plays into all of, like, those respectability politics, elitism bullshit, right? Because to me, because she looks a certain way and follows those rules of respectability politics for the way that she, asserts herself, y'all were willing to believe what she had to say without even really investigating or listening to what she was saying or her credentials. Okay? So that speaks to the fact that, again, y'all niggas always worrying about the wrong shit. And also just the fact that we should not be allowing people to skate when they do shit like what Cheyenne did, because it just goes to show that when you give a nigga an inch, they'll take a mile. We let you go ahead and do whatever you was gonna do in your life, and you repeatedly keep coming back to us in order to try to prove that we're hating on you and we're wrong for requiring you to back up the credentials you say that you have. Y'all, that's narcissistic as fuck. Do you know how narcissistic it is to flip blame on people and say that they're wrong for requiring you to provide proof of a claim that you made? You told us you were a doctor, bitch. We didn't think you were a doctor and pull that out of our ass. You told us that. And you absolutely right. We ain't never seen her ass in a bonnet. But I know I've seen a bitch in a bonnet, and I know she got a PhD. I know she got it. You know why? Because it's got a piece of paper that's behind her, because she can always reach for it, because a bitch with a PhD, they piece of paper is always close by, bitch. They pull that piece of paper up very quickly, okay? As they should. That's why I told y'all, when people be like, doting on their degrees and shit, when you actually work for that shit, I don't give a fuck, girl. You can run it into the ground. Run it into the ground. Because I respect how hard academics and academia is, period. I have a respect for it. So when you play about it, I don't like that. I don't like that.
The only one. So literally the university was created
and
in May.
Who's that one? Is it Cheyenne Bryant?
Cheyenne Bryant. The university was just established in May of 2026. So in regard to Dr. Bryant's narrative about the school not being registered, it was just started in May of 2026. So it's not going to have any type of standing online. It was just established in May of 2026.
How many doctors have you given out total since May?
Only one.
So in the history of this school, which started
in May
8 weeks ago,
yes,
you've given out one degree, and that is to Cheyenne Bryant. So if you've only been open for 8 or 9 weeks, how have you been able to do an earned doctorate? I mean, I understand an honorary doctorate because that's based on life contributions. social contribution status, etc. But an earned doctorate is usually done through coursework. You couldn't do coursework in 2 months.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with what's required of an earned doctorate. It usually takes 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
But as a private Christian university, we actually reserve the right to waive traditional policies and procedures. So how we conducted that particular decision was we initiated a process called prior learning assessment and credit for prior learning. Only one. So
she can't just stick with what she has because this is based in delusions of grandeur. That's why we're talking about the fact that she's narcissistic, because she's not living in reality.
We're compelled by her story about Arkansas University not providing transcripts, not having records. So we stepped up and gave her transcripts and her degrees.
Not you stepped up.
Did you attempt to get her?
What do you mean you stepped up? Since when do fucking colleges step up to give people accreditations and certificates that they did not earn? That's not what any type of academic university, college, girl, that's not what y'all supposed to do. Y'all not supposed to be offering, you know what I'm saying? Let me step up and give her a degree, and then hopefully I can give her some dick. And I came up with a whole song because I was like, yeah, they giving dick for degrees. PhD stand for pretty hard D. They want dick for degrees. Come and fuck it up. He giving dick for degrees. Dick for degrees. Dick for degrees. Dick for degrees. PhD stand for pretty hard D. Okay? You ain't gotta submit no transcript. You just gotta let a nigga hit.
When you applied, did you look at any of her transcripts?
This conversation is absolutely meant to make this dude look dumb, right? That's what this is. We're just gonna ask straight up questions so that you can look dumb, okay? People having an issue with this being platformed, I feel like this is merely a way to call out the ridiculousness. I am questioning Mark's, mindset, but I'm sure it's just like, you know what? I want to keep my foot on her neck in some capacity. So let me show y'all how she's still out here being fraudulent.
I didn't actually have access to her transcripts. I didn't have access to her transcripts.
Why not?
That is a very tedious process to even acquire someone's transcripts. I have to contact previous universities, but what we did was made aware of is that she does have.
You just go online and you type the name. You enter
it's
it.
Very
you
simple.
Give them
it's very
I think a small fee. It takes about 5 minutes.
Not that much.
Yeah, unfortunately, we wasn't able to do that.
No, I know. This is a ploy in order to get her attention. This is a way for him to get her attention so he can possibly give her dick after giving her the degree. It's a ploy to get her attention, right? There's a man that's using academia as a way to get coochie. Because if you haven't learned by now from watching me, men will weaponize any and everything possible to get access to a woman. Weaponizing accreditation that you don't even have. Weaponizing a Gmail. All so that you can offer a degree along with a side of dick.
However, we are aware that she does have a master's in psychology from the University of Phoenix, based on the viral Netflix video that she posted. If you look closely in the background, you see her master's of psychology degree.
Not an actress.
We were compelled by her story about Arkansas University not providing transcripts, not having records. So we stepped up and gave her transcripts.
That language is so odd. Such
Did
odd
you
language.
attempt to get her when you applied? Did you look at any of her transcripts?
I didn't actually have access to her transcripts. I didn't have access to her transcripts.
Why not?
That is a very tedious process to even acquire someone's transcript.
Well, you affirmed her master's degree
D-mail.
by zooming in on a Netflix video.
Yes. She claims on her public biography that she has a master's in psychology from University of Phoenix. And when you look on the video, you'll see it. Also, we did confirm her attendance at the doctoral level of her participating in courses at Arkansas University as a doctor, as there are various students who stated that
Not
she was in the
Tyler
same
Perry
class.
Studios is what he
So
works.
that's verification that she attended doctoral level classes at Arkansas University.
So you use the biography of a liar on her on her website. She a liar. You using what the liar tell you in order to give her accreditation and a certificate that you don't have the right to give to her. And then you calling people about it. It'd be different if you just did this shit on the low because you was trying to fuck her. But you tried to come to us with the bullshit. Why you coming to us with the bull? Don't come to us with the bullshit.
That was one of the determining factors. I'm not aware of that, but however, based on her competency,
what if she attended all the classes and didn't pass any of them?
Based on her competency level and her aptitude level demonstrated in the videos,
not her competency. Based on my feelings when I was watching her on social media, I felt like she deserved a degree. Do you know how fucking dumb that sounds? That sounds so dumb. I don't know if we'll make it through this whole thing.
we're pretty sure that she passed the courses.
What we did confirm her master's degree by zooming in on a Netflix video.
Yes. She claims on her public biography that she has a master's in psychology from University of Phoenix. And when you look on the video, you'll see.
So I got, they've met. So I got an email from the president. He's reaching out to everybody of a university that claims that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was awarded a PhD from his university. Excuse me. He sent me photos of proof. Turns out it's a fake university. You can't make this shit up. When I tell you, when I tell you, I find this utterly hilarious. Come and fuck it up. He giving dick for degrees, dick for degrees, dick for degrees. You ain't gotta pass a test. Just give me that neck. Give me that neck. Give me that neck. We talking dick, 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 dick for degrees. That PhD stand for pretty hard D. That dick, 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 dick for degrees. That PhD stand for pretty hard D. Yes. Okay. Listen. We did for degrees. We did for degrees. Okay? Listen, bitch. Oh, girl. And that's another reason why I don't play respectability politics. Because a lot of times, child, coochie is a remedy for a lot of things. The fuck is you talking about? They be all down to the college fucking on the kids and shit. Y'all up there talking about come to class respectable. Nigga, is you fucking the kids? Because y'all be fucking the kids down to the universities. But we worrying about, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. All right. So in true, listen, we got to skeet over to some white people news. All right. I'm really excited about this white people news. Okay. First, we're going to start off with where is it at? Where is it? I really just need to get into the studio and start making bounce songs because I know I'm good at it, bitch. Like listen, if you've been listening to this shit for years, it don't take much, bitch. You got it. Okay? We used to do this shit in high school, nigga. Okay? In high school at lunch. Okay? You coming up with shit off the top of the dome. Oh my God. My first experiences with having crushes on people that are bullying me. Yikes. Y'all don't bully your kids, okay? Don't bully your kids. Because when you bully your kids, it makes them think that being bullied by other people is attractive. I know y'all don't be realizing that, but don't bully your kids if you can help it. Yeah, I understand. You got to curse them out sometimes. I'm not mad. But don't just be out here bullying the kids, okay? Because when you bully the kids, they go get in relationships or they like people that be bullying them instead of being like, this bitch is disrespecting me. You know what I mean? The lunch tables, you know this. You know this. All right. So again, white people's news. Tom Cruise's 20-year-old daughter, Suri, officially drops his last name. In true Hollywood white family fashion, the kids that have the money, the kids that have the access and the fame to be like, fuck these niggas, they do it. They do it. We just talked about the Jolie Pitt kids, one after another. They coming out saying this nigga was a terrible father and I don't want nothing to do with his name. But now the people is doing it with Tom Cruise as well. And I feel like this makes perfect sense to me. To me, you're a bad dad. It's actually like patriarchy to have your last name in the first place. It was about ownership, not about any like moral family shit. Also, it was so that y'all can keep the lines from being matrilineal, because at first wealth was passed down from mother to daughter because, you know, women have babies. So we know for sure that that's your kid because you the mama, right? We don't know who the fucking daddy is. We know who the mama is. So everything is passed down through the mother. So they wanted to stop that because they wanted to take all the wealth, hoard the wealth, take it from the women. A way of taking wealth away from women who had families or you know, just wealthy homesteads and all of that was to make it so that they had to be with men, make it hard for them to live and lose their wealth, right? And then make it so that it had to be through the men. A lot of times they would steal women's wealth, right? A woman's husband would die. They would go accuse her of being a witch. They might rape her and get her like, you know, ostracized. And then they would steal property and whatever it is that she had. Like that was a thing. That was a thing, girl. So yeah, like once you get educated on how a lot of these things are made up in order to keep a certain system in place that favors putting men at the heads of things, right? Because you go to college or you go to school and you learn where these things come from. And then you compare that to your actual experience with your father, who has not been a good parent to you at all. Why should I have their last name? You weren't a good parent. Like, I actually kind of hate your ass. You were mean to me. You weren't really there for me. You didn't really care about my humanity. All you cared about was your religion and how you wanted your image to be. So, yeah, I don't want your last name. I don't want to be affiliated with you. Yeah, he was a Scientologist for sure. And y'all should understand why one would not want to be a part of a family that's in Scientology, because they enslave the children. They send them to like these boot camp type places and just have them working their ass off. Actually, historically, children have died being a part of Scientology. They also separate children from the family, right? They like to break up the interpersonal relationships of families. And to me, that is some of the most dangerous shit you can do. It's also a way to traumatize children to the point of taking away their empathy and taking away their personhood. They don't, you know, when you raise children like that, they don't feel anything, or they have such low standards because they've been put in such fucked up situations. They've lived such harsh lives. So then their standard for life becomes a harshness and a cruelty that they were raised in. They then do that to their children. Right? I hope I explained that. Because people in the comments like, these kids are soft, just like your dick. Did she denounce the inheritance? She probably did. But if not, what does it matter? Because he still owes her, obviously, more than he provided for her. Because y'all think money matters more than actually being a good parent and liking and loving and caring for your child, which is why I think a lot of y'all shouldn't be parents. Somebody say, Suri, 20 now? We getting old. We indeed are getting old. Because I do remember when she was just a little girl with a bang, a bob and a bang. Yeah, that Scientology community is weird. I don't blame her. Somebody who knows what's going on. Honestly, this might have something to do with him being a Scientologist. It's been reported for a couple of years about the relationship with his daughter and Katie Holmes due to his involvement with Scientology community. But the fact that you understand it when we put a quote on it, right? Now you get it. But when we say that Brad Pitt is an alcoholic, abusive asshole that likes to beat on his wife and kids in the middle of the goddamn air, right? With a drinking problem. When we say that, then it's, oh, y'all are tripping. And that's because, you know, you got to keep people in line. Social media is now a place to keep folks in line, right? And we don't want y'all to be freeing yourselves and freeing yourselves of these men's names and totally leaving them the fuck alone. We don't even like the fact that you don't care about getting their inheritance or their money. We don't like that. A lot of men, they really don't like when women don't care about their money. They act like they do, which is the crazy, like the catch-22 that niggas be going through, which is that, oh my God, I don't know if she really likes me because I have money. She could just be liking me for my money. And then when women don't actually care about money and they care about all of those other things, y'all get mad at that too, because you want to be able to use the money as a tool. You want to be able to use the money as a way to get the woman or make her do something that she doesn't want to do. That's why you're bringing up inheritance, because the inheritance was supposed to keep her wanting to have his last name, which then also goes to show how much you niggas are willing to do anything for money because you're whores. Right? Because you feel like I would stay being a terrible person's child for the money. You're a whore. Okay. Like he ever gave a fuck, unfortunately. And that's the point. That's the whole point. Where is all the Katie hate that Angelina gets? Listen. Very interesting, isn't it? But that's also because, because of the cult aspect of it. But child, that's white people news. And then in other white people's news, let me tell y'all, I've been knowing about this shit for a minute. This shit been bumbling like for a few years now. This shit about, Jesus over here. Y'all know Jared Leto look like white people version of Jesus. And I heard he's a fucking monster. And I heard it a while ago. So I'm very surprised that they've actually, brought charges up on him, because they've been talking about this shit on social media. What he's been doing with them teenage girls and that band that he created. They've been talking about that shit for a minute.
4 women have accused Oscar-winning actor and 30 Seconds to Mars frontman Jared Leto of criminal sexual conduct, with the alleged offences taking place when they were teenagers. One of the women says she was subjected to sexual assault in a motel bathroom when she was 17.
Also, when are y'all gonna understand that these people are hyper attracted to children, and teenage girls are the closest they can get to children a lot of the times?
Another
No, he looks insane.
Says the Hollywood star threatened her with sexual assault when she was 19 and had been unexpectedly left alone with him in a hotel room. One of the women, who was 17 at the time, says she had sex with Leto in California when he was 34. The age of consent in the US state is 18, which would make this a criminal offence. She said Leto shrugged off a conversation about the age of consent. She spoke to the BBC on condition of anonymity, which she is owed by law. 2 other women we spoke to during our investigation have decided to waive their right to anonymity. Alex was a model in London in 2013. She was 19 when she was invited to see a 30 Seconds to Mars show through her modelling agency. After the show, an assistant invited Alex to an after-show party at a hotel. When she got there, Leto was alone. He was 41 at the time.
Then I'm sat there and saying, okay, well, my phone is dying, so I can't really get home from here. So I ask him if he has a phone charger. No, I don't. Okay, I also don't have any cash left. Could I get some cash to get a cab home? No, I don't have any cash. I was sat on a chaise-longue kind of thing. So I was kind of like thinking to myself, could I just sleep here?
Alex says that Leto threatened to sexually assault her while she was asleep.
I ask him, can I just sleep here then? And then he just goes, if you're gonna sleep here, you're gonna wake up with a dick in your ass.
Isabel, not her real name, said she met Leto at her job in Las Vegas when she was 17. He was 30. He asked to hang out after her shift and meet at his motel.
I didn't think much of it. I just was like, oh, he's still getting ready and we're going to meet up there and then we're going to go out afterwards. I swear it gets hard.
And the part about this is that y'all, the conversations around these men is that, oh, you knew what you were getting into. But a person should be able to hang around a celebrity and a celebrity not fuck them. Like, I don't know why we can't think that far. But yeah, no, I know he has a rock group and they have a cult. He has a music group, and their music has created a cult-like following of teenage girls. This is what happens when somebody is actually like a predator, and this is what they do in their life. They seek to make young women prey. And because they're rich and famous, people automatically trust them, and people are automatically enamored with them. They've met him before he's met them. So in order for him to not be a monster and shitstorm of an individual, he would have to recognize that I should not be taking advantage of my fans or people that are very, very young. But because he's not a good person, because he's a deplorable, sick fuck, this is what he does.
Instead, she says Leto sexually assaulted her.
I don't think I ever, till recently, ever blamed him. I always blamed me.
Of course. Of course you blamed yourself.
Four women have...
That's what the culture does. 4 women accused him of sexual, misconduct. And I'm sure there are so many more. Shout out to the women that spoke out, because this shit been going on for a long time. Leto, somebody in the comments said Leto pursued me when I was 14 and he was 35. My mom got involved to stop it. He screamed at her, "I am God." I believe there are many girls he's done this to. He is persistent and elusive. Do you hear how a nigga will try to fuck your kid, and if you as a parent are not actively involved in protecting them, how they can be taken advantage of? Kind of like Celeste Rivas Hernandez with David. That's why you can't blame kids for this shit, because the adults are supposed to know better. The children are not supposed to know better. The adults are supposed to know better. And if the adults were doing what the fuck they were supposed to be doing, the situation wouldn't take place. Because you would be involved. You would be paying attention. You would be having conversations with your kids about who they're around. You would know who their friends are. Where you going? Who's picking you up? Who's going to all be there? But a lot of people, what y'all think is them allowing, gentle parenting or freedom. No, it's people that really don't know how to actively parent, and they think that just living their lives in front of kids is enough to teach them something. It is not. And a lot of people don't have the patience to teach kids either. That was a great segue for us to get into the Celeste and David of it all. Because y'all know more has come out about that over this weekend. And just like I told y'all, them fucking people knew what was going on. I told y'all them people knew what was going on from jump, because in my mind, I had already created, once I found out about the way she was being picked up from her house and in his black car and all of that repeatedly, once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. It is a known thing that y'all do, that y'all sell off y'all daughters, especially in marginalized communities, right? In marginalized communities, this goes on a lot with y'all selling off the girl children because you can't afford to take care of all your kids all the time. So you always want to try to sell one of the girls off to some dude with money to alleviate the financial burden of having all of the children that your ass decided to have, because your ethnicity probably tells you that having abortions is wrong by God. So you have children that you and your husband can't fully take care of all the time. And so alleviating your own stress becomes more important than, taking care of your daughter. Girl, let me look it up. I want to look it up. I want to see what the people said. All right, let's look. Updates in David. Because it's been so much, girl. Text messages got released. And that was a lot. Let's see. Girl, when I tell y'all it's so much shit, I'm looking at this shit trying to decide what angle I'm going to go at this shit from. Oh my God, girl, let me just go to my TikTok because maybe my TikTok has one of them videos I saved about it because I was just listening to other people's videos and I was like, oh my fucking God, bro.
Celeste.
Yeah, let's go to Khadijah right quick. Shout out to Khadijah.
Rivas Hernandez's parents let her go to London for 2 weeks with David. It's just confirmed in David's preliminary hearing that Celeste's family, her friends, everyone knew about her relationship with David. David would actually attend church with Celeste and her family, and David also spent time with them at malls and amusement parks. Amusement park is something that rung a bell from this earlier part of Celeste being found because the private investigator Steve Fisher found a Build-A-Bear receipt in David's home that had Celeste's cousin's name on it. And you could track it back to a date that David was actually at an amusement park and her cousin was at the same amusement park. Celeste's family signed a notarized consent form for Celeste to fly with David to London in 2024 for 2 weeks.
And again, if she's being picked up from the house, she's 12. She's 12, y'all. Who in their fucking right mind is letting anybody come pick their 12-year-old up to go and spend the weekend? Who in their right mind is doing that?
Really disturbing right after she took this trip to London is where she took this trip to Texas to meet David's family. The investigator testified not only did Celeste's parents know about this relationship, so did David's mother. And all of this evidence of this was found in all of the text messages between Celeste and David. Celeste did go to Coachella with David right before she was unalived in April of 2025, which is one reason why I think that she was questioning David if he had a relationship with Asia, because Asia was with David at Coachella also. And it was also confirmed that Celeste did go to David's performances with a lot of people in David's inner circle. And this is no surprise neither because we saw her at the Fonda Theater in 2024 and David's management was there. David's friends, Neo and Asia, were there. David's family was there. The truth is coming out about Celeste and all of it is so heartbreaking because nobody saved this baby girl. And I think that's what really breaks my heart a little bit more, that everybody knew about this relationship and nobody did anything to try to stop it. We are now at the end of this preliminary hearing and the judge is going to decide whether there's enough evidence for David to go to trial over this, which I wouldn't worry too much. I definitely think there is because preliminary hearings have a very low standard for it to.
Okay, hold up. So let me read y'all this. Before I finish this, I just want to say, you guys, shout out to Reset by Design Wellness. Shout out to Taisha and Reset by Design Wellness, which is a luxury vacation retreat company that takes Black women, and we're about to start opening the doors to more people with different trips. But it is a safe space for women to have a luxurious vacation with other Black women and with a Black woman that has curated excellent spaces for all of her trips. Taisha has done an amazing job with every single trip that we've ever been on. From Thailand to Bali to Ghana, it has all been such an amazing experience. And the safety that we feel traveling around the world with each other, the perspective it gives us on life, how we have, in some ways, I feel like we've learned to love ourselves more because we take ourselves out of America that teaches us to beat up on ourselves, and we go somewhere else where these same stigmatizing things are not as prevalent. Like when we went to, Bali or Thailand, and the way we feel about our bodies starts to change after a while because everybody is not so thin everywhere all the time. So you don't feel the same way about your body fat when you're on the beach because everybody isn't skinny. And the standard in that space is not to be super skinny. So you learn that you're being harder on your body than you actually need to be because that's what America teaches you. We've learned so many things from traveling outside of the country. Even the recognition that moving to Africa, is a great thing, but it is not going to be a save all like some of us originally thought. You know what I'm saying? Like just moving there would just make everything better. It'll make some shit better. But they have some of the same issues all over the place, which is why we have to care. We have to care because people have to be able to live lives free from unnecessary harm. And I just feel like traveling and having a better understanding of life has created a space in me where not only do I want to, exhibit that by not perpetuating harm in the same ways my damn self, but also in the way that I look at myself and not judging myself so harshly and not being so hard on me for not being able to be perfect in a system that is doing all of the things it possibly can to harm me. And you don't recognize that until you get out of this country and you realize that everywhere is not trying to kill its citizens for profit. So thank you to Taisha and Reset by Design Wellness for giving us that opportunity to see outside of this box that we live in. And if y'all want to come with us, the link is down below in the description box, bitch. Now let's get back into the show. Okay? Because my God, don't I need a vacation? So let me read this to y'all from TMZ. Prosecutors presented what they described as an 18-month text message trail between David and Celeste Rivas, arguing the exchanges documented the progression of their relationship from pregnancy scares, abortion discussions, and plans to live together leading up to her alleged murder. I even heard that there was a text thread where he told her that he didn't want her to keep getting pregnant because he didn't want her to get stretched out. She's like 12. He's talking about the vagina of a 12-year-old girl being stretched out because he keeps getting her pregnant. This is no different, for real, than that 13-year-old whose mama popped that 20-year-old nigga. I hope y'all know that. It is no different. It's just that, that black lady cared more about her kid. That black lady cared more about her kid. Okay, I'm how I feel. Anyway, so yes, prosecutors presented what they described as an 18-month text message trail between David and Celeste, arguing the exchanges documented the progression of their relationship from pregnancy scares, multiple, abortion discussions, and plans to live together leading up to her alleged murder. Deputy District Attorney Bette Silverman walked through messages dating back to November 2023 when prosecutors say Celeste was 13 and David, real name David Anthony Burke, was 18, noting that their initial communication began all the way back in August 2022 when Celeste was just 11. Also, they're saying this wrong. Celeste was not 13 and David was 18. I don't know why it's said like that because that's not true. From what I understand, they have a 7-year age difference. They have a 7-year age difference. He's 20. She would have just turned 14. Wait, I can't count. Count for me, y'all. But I feel like this is wrong because I feel like the last time, because I be counting shit when I'm paying attention and then when I get up here, I be forgetting what I said. The girl was 11 and he was 18. That's what I thought I remember hearing first, that she was 11, he was 18, then she was 13 and he was 20. Is that not right, y'all? Is that not right? It should have been he's 13 and she's 20, right? Tell me if I'm tripping. Either way, noting their initial communication began all the way back in August 2022 when Celeste was just 11. Early texts included discussions about missed periods, ovulation tracking, and pregnancy prevention. 1320. Yes, thank you. That's what the fuck I thought. I don't know why they're writing it as 1318, but that's problematic to me, TMZ. Early texts include them talking about tracking her fucking period and her ovulation, and David allegedly advising her about taking emergency contraceptions like Plan B. Silverman showed text from December 31st, 2023, where David says to Celeste, why not one band? Hold up, what? Why not one band? Why you deserve 10? In which Celeste responds, 10 because you fucked me 10 times. David corrects her and says, 6 actually, baby. By January 2024, prosecutors say the text centered on a tattoo, pregnancy, and abortion. The judge saw messages in which David apologized for putting Celeste through this, asked when she was going to get it done. Later checking on what prosecutors contend was an abortion appointment, saying, "You're so much stronger than me, baby," laughing my ass off. I love you. The psychological abuse that's taking place is disgusting to me, and that's why I think it's important. And I think when we get into the conversations about grown adult women, because y'all have been desensitized to men handling y'all in a very abusive way, you think that some of this shit is okay. But when you see it in the framework of a grown man doing it to a child, I hope you can understand how it's meant to make her think less of herself. It's meant to destroy her self-esteem. And if her self-esteem is destroyed, she's easier to control. She's easier to get to do what you want her to do if she doesn't have any confidence outside of your validation. That's what this attempts to do. And grown adult women fall for this every single fucking day. I just want to be clear on that. In February 2024, prosecutors pointed to messages they say showed plans for Celeste to leave her parents' home, referred to as Operation Awesome. The pair discussed packing duffel bags and coordinating transportation, while investigators testified her family reported her missing the same day. The messages became increasingly explicit throughout summer 2024, with conversations about repeated sexual encounters, pregnancy scares, recording intimate videos, marriage, and future children. By late 2024 and early 2025, the relationship appeared to be unraveling. Celeste wrote, "She literally had sex with you for almost a year straight. And in March 2025, she told David she wanted more than just having sex and hanging out." Silverman then focused on the pair's final exchanges in April 2025, the month prosecutors claimed David murdered Celeste. After arguing over another woman, Alicia Collins, the two still arranged to meet on April 23rd. That evening, Celeste texted that she was almost at David's Hollywood Hills home after he ordered her an Uber. Roughly 10 minutes later, David began repeatedly texting to ask where she was after Uber records showed she had arrived. On cross-examination, defense attorney Blair Burke argued prosecutors ignored important context. She highlighted messages showing Celeste had represented herself as older online, threatened to kill David, ruin his career, and expose private information, and repeatedly pushed to see him before the April 23rd meeting. That does not stand because you had to get her parents' permission to take her out of the country to London, which you did when you had her passport. So you knew how old she was. That's irrelevant. That's a moot point. Her trying to destroy his career. That can all be looked at as somebody that's acting out because they're being abused. That's how I would view that. I would view that as a child trying to regain some type of power in a dynamic where they are powerless. That's what I would characterize threatening his career and threatening to expose him because he's doing something wrong. He's doing something wrong. If he were not doing anything wrong, there would be nothing to expose. Burke argued it was Celeste, not David, who insisted on meeting that night and asked him to send the Uber. It doesn't matter who was asked to be there. The fact is she ended up dead. So are you going to try to make her accountable for her own death? That's another thing I won't understand, and I'm really starting to get aggravated with. There is a level of holding, women to a certain accountability so that they can protect themselves, yes, but the way y'all try to blame, like y'all want blame, not accountability. You want to blame people for the abuse that they've had to deal with as if the harm has happened to anybody else but the person that's being abused. You were not harmed in the truth coming out about how you harmed me. You harmed me. The truth coming out is what should happen. But y'all know, in our time today, Where is it at?
Evil is good. That's what I think. It must be.
It must be, bitch. Because my God, don't y'all find a way to rationalize the most insane shit? Child prosecutors claim David lured Celeste to his home, fatally stabbed her, and later dismembered her body before stuffing her remains inside 2 bags that were ultimately discovered inside his Tesla. David is charged with 1 count each of murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14, and unlawful mutilation of human remains. He has pleaded not guilty. So this is what I need for people to understand, because I don't think y'all get it. People that have sexual relationships and emotionally manipulate children are psychopaths. I don't know if you know how disconnected you have to be from any ounce of empathy in order to have sex with a child. Like, I actually physically cringe at the idea of it. And so when somebody can actually go through with all of this effort to basically create a sex slave out of a young girl, they're a psychopath. They're evil. And the people that protect them, I think those people are evil too. I think his mom is evil. I also think that Celeste's parents are evil. And to me, evil is you valuing things that don't matter over life, over the health of a person, over the health of a child. You valuing money, you valuing just allowing her to have this problematic relationship because these people seem to be affluent. Y'all be so willing to sell y'all children to psychopaths. Because to me, that's what they did to this girl. They sold her to a psychopath. And the emotional abuse and the situations that they placed this child in that she should not have been in, let alone had to navigate alone. I literally want everybody investigated. I want cases on all you bitches. I want everybody investigated. This has been, and because they text so much, the text messages being on blast is probably one of the most fucked up parts of all of this, y'all. It's the most fucked up part of all of this because you can see it. You can see how he talking to her. You can feel how it would affect you if you're very young and you feel like nobody cares about you. And I'm telling y'all right now, them fucking parents, I don't care what nobody talking about. Young girls do not run to the arms of psychopathic men without their parents pushing them there in some capacity. A lot of people don't want to admit why their children end up in these situations. But I feel like this goes to show a lot of y'all are willing to sell y'all children away and then act like this is something that happened to you. Happy Healthy Hair, thank you for the super chat. The sickest thing about this case is that these behaviors aren't uncommon. This stuff happens way too much. Yuck. No, seriously. It does happen way too much because you know what else it makes me think about when I got up here earlier, I was looking at TikTok. There's another thing going on with that Mother Nisha girl on TikTok. And I've talked about her previously. And once again, she's having the police go to check on this child. And the child is like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't think people recognize how Mother Nisha is still trying to abuse her child through exploitation and acting like she really cares about her. But it's not like she actually cares about her. It's more so she's getting attention from the performance of caring about her. We're going to take a quick little break and then we're going to come back and we're going to do 2 final stories and I'm going to get up off of here. But I love y'all so much for being here. Like the video, okay? Do all the things. Hey y'all, this is a get ready with me, okay? Just a little something before I get ready for one of my daily lives. So I just started growing my locks about 2 years ago now, and I color treated, and I do like a style here or there, and I really have noticed that my hair does the best when I keep it moisturized. And my regimen of spraying my hair with water and then following it up with Fab Hair International's Moisture Mist leave-in conditioning spray, girl. Listen, It's giving me everything that I need as far as the moisture on a daily basis is concerned. I've tried a lot of sprays and I really, really enjoy not only the way the spray bottle works, but also the way the hair feels moisturized after I've given it a spritz. There are so many great Fab Hair International products to try. And the Stimulate and Soothe Deep Cleansing Shampoo is one of my favorites. It actually gives your scalp a tingling sensation that makes it feel really, really clean. And then the Moisture Mask Deep Conditioning Mask is really amazing as well. Make my hair feel really, really moisturized after I had color treated it. The products are great and were created by a Black woman stylist who came from behind her chair to give her people the products she felt they really deserved. Fab Hair International is for all curls and coils, whatever your hair type. You can find something at Fab Hair International that will suit your specific needs. Right now, you can use my code BONDY15 to get 15% off of your purchase. Go to fabhairinternational.com, take their hair quiz, and find out which products will be perfect for your hair. Be a bougie traveler and shop fabhairinternational.com. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. So last two topics. Let's go ahead and get into it. Where do I want to go? First of all, I guess let's go here. Girl, did y'all see that Miracle Watts and Tyler LaPlay finally got married, girl? Okay, they're really excited. They're getting ready for their wedding together. Okay, we're partying it up. Yes, marriage between two attractive people we want to see fuck. Yes. Okay, yes, we love it all. She's on it. Okay, listen, turn this bitch. Listen. They had a good time. They had a good time. This looks like a really good wedding. It's like a good time. Come on now, white party, aka. Was this the wedding reception? Was that the wedding reception dress? Are they on a boat? I don't know. This looks like a good wedding though. It looks like a good time, girl. She finally got her ring. Girl. That's good. I'm so happy for her. Girl, I saw the pictures and the video from the wedding, and that's the one thing that I wanted to go back to because it tickled me, because I was just like, whenever actors get married, I just be like, oh my God, here go y'all acting ass niggas getting married. Because acting niggas, when they get married, they just do the most. They always do the absolute fucking most. And you don't be wanting to be like hyper judgmental of their shit or anything. Right? Because that's not the goal. That's not the rule. But, girl, let's take a look. This video right here. Cause I believe in you and me. I will never leave your side. Girl.
It's okay, baby. Come on. Take your time. Take your time.
And me. Tomorrow to the world. I'm sorry, y'all. Joy to the world. Girl, can y'all explain to me? Can y'all explain to me what that was about just then? Listen, as somebody that cried at their wedding, right? Like I cried. That nigga didn't cry. I cried, and I've felt a way about it ever since. But him, especially with the camera right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what this. I don't know what that face is, but that's a lot right there. That's a lot. Y'all, they have a child together. They live together. They've been together for years. And as somebody that got married to their husband after being with them for years, it is emotional, but not like that. I'm not policing this lady's emotions, okay? If this is a genuine thing for her, God bless her soul. But I'm about to laugh at it. I'm sorry. I am about to laugh at how much you doing here. And also, like, slightly in the back of my mind, anytime y'all act too grateful to be marrying a man, it annoys me. Bitch, you too grateful. Calm down. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Girl, it's a piece of paper. Y'all already lived together. Y'all woke up together. Nigga, ain't much gonna change. What is all this?
Take your time. Take your time.
Y'all, I'm sorry. That's way too much. If they had been together for a year and a half, fairy tale, no kids, I'm finally married now. Okay? But the fact that them people been together close to a fucking decade at this point with a baby, they woke up together. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all been together. Like, what is you hyperventilating for? You got a story time for me about him? Oh, please send it to me. I know it's some fuck shit because niggas like this think they too pretty. I also feel like he waited a very long time to make something happen that literally could have been you know what I mean? Like, he could have married this girl at the courthouse when he found out she was pregnant. When he found out she was pregnant, he could have took her down to the courthouse and you know, legitimized the situation automatically and then saved the money and had the beautiful big old wedding later on, but still had her be your wife because y'all was living together and y'all had a child. What this makes me feel like is you had to get ready to marry a bitch after you already had a baby with her. You had to get yourself together in order to marry her. That's what it feel like to me. So simply because you had to do all of that convincing and you know, she used to be online. That's another thing. She was online letting it be known that she was waiting on him to propose to her so that they can get married, or waiting on him so that they can get married. Because historical, you know, like the history of all of these things and how these things have been sold as lies to women and the pedestalization of wives and what they actually end up being treated like in a lot of marriages and all of that. I don't like the over performance of appreciation for you marrying a man. I don't like that. That's just me though, y'all. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And that's just because I feel like you do all of this and them niggas still end up playing in your fucking face. Like, reserve some of that. That's all. You could feel however you want to feel, but I do feel like if you're going to perform, you need to perform some goddamn reserve when it comes to these niggas. Because overperforming for them will have them thinking that you'll just deal with any old thing because they so goddamn great. They just got married a couple of days ago. She looks beautiful though. Worldwide, that ring is seen as the holy grail for women, and it's actually a trap. Girl, I hate it. I hate this Matrix, bitch. I want a new Matrix. Can we get a new Matrix? There has to be a better computer system that we can live in out there, because this computer system is terrible. Okay? They really will have you believing that your saving grace is actually your imprisonment. I like her dress though. I really like her. Girl, I saw a similar dress on TikTok shop with that same bodice type of shape. I think I'm gonna buy it. I gotta start, you know what I'm saying, showing you hoes, you know, a thing or two. Okay, every night. But see, y'all, I'm sorry. That ugly face, hyperventilating shit that she was doing, I said no. See, bitch, it's never worth it to look ugly in no video or wedding pictures. When I was crying, y'all, the tears were flowing down my face as I was walking down the aisle, but I had a smirk on my face. There would not be an ugly cry nowhere around my wedding pictures, bitch. I'm not willing to ugly cry. Child. Yeah, y'all know how they be. God is good. Congratulations. What a love story. I had to get on the internet and threaten this nigga to marry me. God, what a love story. Child, Tyler Perry would give you a better love story than this. Y'all remember when Tyler Perry gave y'all Medea's family reunion? And he had that old black lady sit there after her husband had already died and tell us a fairy tale story about, oh my God, my husband and I, it's almost as if we was one. And sometimes I'd lay on his chest and I would hear his heart beating at the exact same rate as mine. And my God, that meant that we were meant to be, because our heartbeat was beating at the same goddamn time. Meanwhile, if you actually go back, if he was nice, he cheated. And if he didn't cheat, he beat on you. And sometimes he did both. And then like at a low percentage rate, you get you an old loving, nice, sweet husband that work a good job and just want to come home and be a, a nice man to you and take care of y'all kids. Yeah, they out there. They out there. But it's few and far in between. And not nearly enough that could stay sweet in the the process of being ridiculed for racism. So I always look at that story like propaganda to make you hoes think that some nigga heartbeat gonna be beating at the same rate as y'all's. And that's the sign. You can't tell me that you ain't been somewhere laying on a nigga neck. Look, he didn't just dick you for dear God, and now you trying to find every spiritual reason you can grab for this nigga to be the one. Okay? You know what I'm saying? He didn't just dick you to retardation, and now you laying on his chest thinking about Tyler Perry movies. Talking about, does his heart beat at the same time as mine? Oh, girl. But congratulations to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to have what they want in their life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want for y'all. If y'all trying to have a good time, if y'all want to be married, y'all want to do that, I want y'all to have what y'all want. But I do want y'all to make sure that y'all are getting what y'all need to get out of it. Stop being with these men while they, disrespecting you, being all excited about being married to a nigga that's going to end up breaking your heart or disrespecting you or not valuing you fully as a woman and as a human being. And it was all obvious before you decided to get a ring, but getting that position in society made you feel like those other things didn't matter. And slowly you start to realize that when it comes to marriages, nobody really matters but the two people in that house. Y'all will get married and do these things for the validation of other people and then be stuck in a house with a nigga you can't stand and a nigga that can't stand you. So just be safe out here. Be safe out here. Marriage is beautiful. Girl, sure. It depends on the marriage, okay? It's not beautiful within itself. Within itself, it's a way to systematically oppress women and give broke men the option of a woman to keep them from rebelling against the government. But conversations y'all don't be ready to have because everything's about your feelings. Let's get on to this last thing so I can get up out of here. Thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, it's definitely not gay. But you know what? What I used to hear some dudes say is like, getting all up in there is like they would feel gay. They would feel gay. Like, now I'm not digging all in my ass, and it's like, why not?
All right.
You have to.
All right, confession.
What's up?
I tell too much up here. My wife hates it, but it's all good.
What's up?
So yes, I used to be the type of guy that didn't quote unquote get up all in there.
See what
right?
I'm saying?
But I'm gonna tell you why.
Acting like you don't know what the hell going on.
But I never thought about it. That's not a conversation I had with the fellas at the barbershop.
So once again, harmful, homophobic rhetoric. Harmful, homophobic rhetoric teaches niggas that cleaning their ass makes them gay because they have decided that their ass is always a sexual object. And y'all don't see how girl, that bisexual, the straight women having a bisexual conversation, all they want is to end up with a nigga that's so straight that he don't want to wash between his ass cheeks. And and then he gonna cheat on you. You had to teach a nigga how to clean his ass. And he cheated on you with a bitch in front of everybody. But guess what? You have money.
Or we out and about, like, hey fellas, did you wash your ass? But let me tell you, so, you know, one day me and Gia, this is a long time ago, you know, we take showers with each other. We wash each other. Yeah. And one day she got up all in there. And I'm like, whoa. And then I realized I'm supposed to wash my ass thoroughly and correctly. So ever since that, I'm like, I wash my ass. But
this is another signifier that we live in a patriarchal society that means women will love men no matter what. So when y'all get on the internet with them pretend ass stories that y'all have heard from niggas not getting pussy about how women have all of these standards and they only want the most attractive rich men, and women are literally with broke niggas that they have to teach how to clean their ass. Because you know, in order for her to do that, it's because she smelled or noticed that he wasn't cleaning his ass. And so she got in the shower with him to do it for him, because this is a way of helping your man learn how to clean his ass without making him feel shame for not cleaning his ass. When the truth of the matter is, he should feel shame about that, because before you stick your dick in somebody's vagina, you should be cleaning your ass properly. And something tells me you let a man who doesn't wash his ass put his penis inside of you raw. And that's what I be talking about when we talk about women that have all of these standards. And when you really investigate, girl, you ain't got no standards.
But you should get up all in there. You don't want stinky ass.
That's what I'm saying. So what was on the rag when she washed your ass? You didn't know all that was all up in there? All them little dingleberries and all the butt crust all up in there, and she really went up in there and had to detail your ass? And you didn't think about it the whole time?
Detailing your ass sounds
your boxes,
crazy.
your briefs wasn't crunchy at the end of the night?
They're not crunchy anymore, but that was when I was younger. But she did it, and I was like, oh, I have to get up all. I wasn't thinking. I was just like the wang, you know, and keep it moving. But now I
imagine how long.
And this is the same man that likes to tell us that his 2-parent household was so great, and his dad was, what was his dad? A cop or some shit like that. He's somebody that likes to talk to us like because his parents had certain jobs, that means he was raised well or something like that. And to me, this is another situation of y'all care more about how things look than how they actually are. Because if you have not taught your son how to clean his ass, you have failed as a parent. Bitch, I'm sorry. But if a grown woman having sex with your son has to teach him how to clean his ass because you did not teach him that he needed to clean in his ass, you have failed as a parent, whoever you are.
Before that happened, she was really thinking about like really probably breaking up with you, or probably, you know, that's probably why she didn't orgasm either, yo.
All right, enough.
Little stinky
but
ass.
But detailing your ass is funny. I like that.
Nigga.
Mr. Waxer?
First of all, I've never in my life heard this nonsense that y'all are speaking this morning. Okay, in fact, all the OGs around me always encouraged me to wash my ass.
Yeah,
okay? And they was homophobic, and they never ever told me not to wash my ass.
But she's talking about get up.
Same. But there's always the dumb niggas. There's always that group of extremely stupid motherfuckers. There's an education level and there's a homophobic level. So most people's homophobia doesn't go that much higher than their common sense. When you decided that washing between your ass cheeks makes you gay, your homophobia has outpaced your common sense. And that is a real thing.
In there. All right?
Yeah, get in there.
These are the same people that would clown you for wearing pink. And never, ever told me not to wash my ass. They always encouraged me to wash my ass. And how is it gay when it's your hand in your ass? What's the difference between washing your ass and masturbating? If y'all think washing your ass is gay, then what do y'all think masturbation is? What are we doing here?
You know why? Because it is assigning degenerate sex to a man's ass. Just like y'all automatically think that if a man is feminine, bisexual, all of that he's automatically getting, pumped in the butt. And then y'all create a stigma around that. Because that then, because any then close attention to the butt means you gay. Not that I just want the motherfucker to be clean or anything, child. I'm so glad I'm a woman when it comes to certain shit like that. Because there ain't never been a stigma about me cleaning my ass. That's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Fathers.
That's why I be talking about when I say y'all police men way too heavily, because these things do like happen, right? We all don't think this way, but this absolutely is a rationalization that is happening amongst a group of, you know, poorly uneducated people, child.
Should be washing their infant son and toddlers' asses. And I have 3 washcloths. One for my body, one for my face, one for my ass and my penis. Okay? So what are we talking about here?
I'm not really sure why one would need separate, like face, yes. Like this, yes. But once I start working my way down, what am I picking up? I'm going to leave Charlemagne alone and let Charlemagne clean himself the way he wants to. But I also noticed that a lot of dark-skinned people, I had a boyfriend when I was younger, and he was very, very clean. He's very dark-skinned, and he was very clean. But one of the things I noticed was that he would be scrubbing his skin to the point of scrubbing off his skin, and he would think that it was dirt. And I'm like, after a while of us showering together, he's very clean. I'm like, why are you still like he's washed himself 2 times and now he's going into the 3rd wash and scrubbing hella hard. And I'm like, you do know at this point that's not dirt, that's your skin, right? Because, you know, a lot of dark-skinned people are taught that they look dirty, so they will do a lot of extra cleaning of themselves so that they don't make anybody believe that they're dirty. Yeah. So that's probably another reason why Charlemagne and Envy would have 2 different experiences when it comes to how they clean their bodies. Because light-skinned ass Envy would probably not grow up with the same stigmatism of not being clean as a dark skin, you know what I'm saying? Charlemagne. And y'all forget that Charlemagne used to be way darker than he is now because he had to go get, a dermatologist. He had a lot of skin issues, hyperpigmentation and all of that type of shit. So he went and got money and he went and got a good dermatologist and he got his skin together. And now he looks like he drinks water. But yeah, I could definitely see the reason why the 2 of them would have 2 different mentalities is because the lack of thinking that the light-skinned boy is dirty means that you feel like you don't have to really impose on him to clean himself. And the dark-skinned black boy, you would make him think that just his skin color alone makes him dirty. So then he would become hyper aware of his own hygiene. Girl.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, come on, man.
It's a lot of laundry.
Now, look, so I grew up with the shower hose that detached, so I didn't ever really have to bend over until I moved out. And I was like, how am I going to wash my ass with the shower hose that don't move?
Why are y'all bending over to wash your ass? You don't have to bend over to wash your ass.
There's different ways to wash your ass,
No,
y'all.
you don't.
Let him talk.
There's different ways, y'all.
All right, so for one, I don't use a washcloth. I have a certain bar of soap just for my bottom part.
Okay.
No, listen. So before I even put that bar of soap, I have to bend over to just rinse out whatever's in there before I even put my hand down there.
Okay.
But it feels weird having to, like, touch your toes and let the water, because I can't detach myself.
First of all, ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody bending over, bro.
Wash his ass.
And what kind of soap do you have just for your ass? Why are y'all putting bars of soap in your bunkie?
That's weird.
If you are putting bars of soap.
Y'all learn that from white people. To me, white people are the ones that will put soap on a rope and just use the bar of soap and not use a washcloth. And then I especially learned this when I travel to other places and realized that washcloths are not a thing. Like, washcloths are not a thing because at large, a lot of people do not use washcloths to clean themselves, which I find kind of gross. Just rubbing soap on your body, I don't think is enough. And also, I'm not saying you should not scrub your body, y'all. I'm saying the amount of scrubbing, the harshness of the scrubbing, you're not going to be able to wash your black skin off. Just be clear of that. But yes, no, of course, y'all know I'm a hygiene person. Okay. I don't even understand people that can't wash their whole body, face all the way down to in between their toes twice in the span of 10 minutes. And it might be because I'm just a littler person, right? I'm not a bigger person. It doesn't take me as much to wash my body because I'm little. But I could get out of the shower between 10 and 15 minutes and have washed my body 2 times, washed my face, and maybe exfoliated. I'm really good at taking quick showers. That's why I don't understand why people act like it's going to take so much time for them to wash their legs and their feet. Also, bidets are more common. That's also true. Bidets are more common. And in America, child, we love a wet wipe. I don't know why niggas don't have wet wipes. You shouldn't have dingleberries in your ass. You're a man. You're not a dog. What's going on?
In your ass, there's only one brand of soap that can be used if you sticking it up your bunkie.
What is it?
I'm white and I use a washcloth in African. Okay, so you acting outside of the norm for your people, right? Like, I've been many places, and a lot of people do not have washcloths, and it is because it's a standard set by who? But we are happy for all of you white people that do have good bathing and good hygiene practices. We do appreciate y'all for not adding to y'all's people's need to find loopholes around washing y'all's bodies like y'all have historically been known to do. So thank y'all very much for that.
Zest is the only one that would be appropriate for that, because I don't understand why y'all taking a whole bars of soap and sticking it in your ass.
Zest is crazy.
Why are you putting a whole bars of soap in your ass? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Put the lather on the towel.
Yeah.
Wipe your ass. Once again, I use 3 washcloths. One for my face, one for my body, one for my ass in privacy.
All right. Well, when we come
y'all
back,
don't take washing serious enough for me.
Did you wash your ass today?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, listen, which I appreciate, but also understand there's a tone of white supremacy when it comes to being clean and the way people are hyper focused on cleanliness, child. That'll take it even back to the way people are assigning not being clean to people wearing the bonnets and shit. A lot of the things that because you look dirty and unkept. Not necessarily, bitch. That's why, like, some of these pictures and videos of people, like, y'all really feel, just wrap this up. Y'all really feel like these 2 people look like they not clean? Now, it's AI, y'all. Absolutely, it's AI. But if 2 black students was walking down the campus just like this, which is how you would see them walking down the campus, you would really automatically assume they're not clean? I would not assume that from looking at these people just because they had those things on their heads. But that, that's just me, girl. I don't assign stigma to things as a way of being because I don't like to perpetuate harmful ideology. Once I learned that something is a harmful ideology, I try to unwrap myself from it. But I know everybody ain't on that. That's y'all business. I don't know why y'all gotta, impose all y'all weird shit on everybody. But anyway, thank you to all fam 86 for the super chat. Bondi, the way people have been talking to you lately, it makes me think about that little song Jennifer Lewis sings. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Heard it? Listen, when I tell you they be so mad at me and they be talking to me like they fucking crazy, like, I'm still gonna curse your fuck ass out. So yeah. Thank you, Candy Doll, for the super chat. Yes, that's so terrible when people comment on your weight gain, not knowing where I read this one. Thank you. Thank you, I am Diva Nicole. Hey, Bondi and Bonbons. I'm late to the live, but just showing love, and you are greatly appreciated. Okay, Farm to See, you was showing a lot of love, but you was also not showing a lot of love in the comments, okay? As a Hamptonian, it must be pretty bad if our sister school has to enact this. At least they don't ban dreads and cornrows like we do. Sounds like you're allowing for that mindset to sink in, talking about it must be pretty bad. Like, nah, I don't agree with that. But thank you for the super chat. Many of these kids don't know how to appear professionally in real life. We don't need to race to the bottom. I can be grammatically correct. I just shorten my text to reach my budget. To reach your budget? Many of these kids don't know how to appear professionally in real life. They don't? Why do you think they don't know how to appear professional? So you saying college educated students are showing up at jobs, not knowing how to appear professional in real life? Or are you having a high standard of them everywhere they go, and when they no longer fit this high standard because it's not practical to where life is right now coming off of COVID, y'all are like, adding this extra stigma onto it. But I don't know what you mean. I just shortened my text to reach my budget. I guess you mean the allotted amount of characters. I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. I am Diva Nicole. This is in the same lane where they have now decided to start discharging men with shaving waivers from the military who largely have shaving waivers, black men. Yes, that is a very similar thing, because the shaving causes a lot of like cysts and all types of issues. Like, they should be able to grow out their facial hair. Why do they have to look like a white racist skinhead in order to be in the military? Especially since once they, took back those laws, got rid of those laws for a period of time, the military was still happening just fine with people who had facial hair. This is something that is about policing black bodies to make life hard for them, to push them out of spaces. And because you can't outright try to kick somebody out for being black, you find shit that black people do and then make that illegal. That's the problem. But if y'all want to discharge people from the military for not shaving facial hair that grows every day, I hate y'all. Okay. Thank you, I'm Diva Nicole. Thieves, thank you for the super chat. I was pressed to lose weight shortly after giving birth preterm, not weight related. Every issue plus size women encounter is due to our weight. And that's so fucking aggravating, because it's actually not. And there are so many times that women have not only died, but had a lot of pain because doctors aren't adequately trying to figure out what's wrong with them. They just automatically assign everything to weight instead of actually doing diagnostics. They will see a fat person there. A fat person will be like, bitch, my brain is on fire. And they'll be like, oh, you just need to lose some weight. And then they'll pass out, get sent to the emergency. Somebody will do a scan and they'll find out they had a fucking tumor. Girl. And it'd be the very fat motherfuckers on the internet that be talking this shit in the comments that you're trying to help in the first place. Charlene, girl, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, I just wanted to send some love. Your perspective is always on point and your wisdom is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Thieves, thank you. Hot take. Public perception of Cheyenne Bryant versus Wendy Osefo before fraud is different. Wendy was called obnoxious for referencing her PhD. Colorism, in my opinion. Girl, you know I agree. Because when you try to find anything you could find to dislike somebody, I'm pretty much, especially when it's a positive thing, I'm pretty much going to assume you're a hater or you're a colorist if they're a dark-skinned person. Graduated thought, hey, love, thank you for the super chat. Will Reset by Design offer single parent package trips? I'm a single mom and travel with my daughter pretty often. Something for us to talk about. I'll talk to Taisha about that and see what she says. Now, a lot of these retreats are not, for children, because you want to be able to have adult conversations amongst women and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that it is something to consider. And we have thought about mother-daughter trips as well. Happy Healthy Hair, thank you for the super chat. The sickest thing about this case is that these behaviors aren't uncommon. I read this when we was talking about Celeste and David, fuck ass. Brandon, thank you for the super chat. Listen, I'm supposed to sing Be a Lion from The Wiz to the Old Hoes karaoke tonight. Send some emo support. Good luck, love. Good luck. Have a good time. Gwen Baby 2, hey girl, thank you for the super chat. I remember when that Gen Z girl showed up to her first big girl job interview and wore knee-length jean shorts and got mad when HR told her about it. Was that a black girl? I'm curious. And also, what school did she go to that they did not, and this is the thing, it's not that we shouldn't be preparing them or giving them the knowledge. I'm just saying it should not result in a ban on an entire campus. You know what I'm saying? Because you can absolutely teach how to dress to things without banning shit from everywhere on campus. There is a middle ground in there somewhere. Okay, a middle ground, because y'all will not convince me that wearing a bonnet to the cafeteria is a problem. Y'all will not convince me of that at all. She was black. Shocking. That is shocking, because that sounds like the shit that them white girls be doing. They will show up somewhere with a short dress and all of that. But I definitely feel like that's still something that can be taught. Like, the issue is not that you want to correct these things where they're not, getting it, but it's also about like not policing them. You can teach them things without putting in policing tactics. And that is the point. Lola Zane, thank you for the super chat. I wish HBCUs taught more ethics and community involvement instead of finessing and looking the part. The value is placed more on appearance than being a decent human being. And that's what I think. And I feel like a lot of times when we have these conversations, the people that are arguing on behalf of the bonnets, y'all really don't sound like decent human beings when we really brought down to it, because y'all look at other black people and think they're dirty because they wear bonnets. And I feel like you're not really a decent human being if you're aligning that type of stigma to a person just because, especially as a black person and understanding these things. Like, I feel like it just makes you look like a shit person. It makes me think that you have low self-esteem on some level. And so you've built your self-esteem on the ability to feign or perform perfection. And then you hold everybody else to that same standard. Because if you were to realize that you don't actually have to do all of that, then you would have done all of that for nothing. And that would really piss you off. So it's much better to keep your ignorant standard and push it on other people, to make yourself feel better about how you've, sometimes betrayed yourself for things that don't really help you. They don't serve you. Lay Monique, thank you for the super chat, girl. I graduated 2021, and all of the stuff us COVID graduates went through, bonnets are the last thing on their mind. We just want to graduate and be done. And I understand. And I agree. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. Don't forget to tip your girl. Tip her. Tip her. I will see y'all in the next live. Peace out.